Roll telling YouTube and everything. We're all ready. Hey, happy Friday. Let her rip, anything goes. Of course, every day is Friday on the podcast. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. Nice to have you aboard. This would be podcast number 465, Friday, the 12th of August. Right. With Pete. Got Pig. I like it. With Pete Davis, sidekick, producer, and sports raconteur extraordinaire. And, of course, a mechanical mangler at the controls, Flounder at El Condo Floundo. And letting her rip with Friday. Now we've got what's got Pig? Is that like a pork society thing or what? Oh, Piggly Wiggly, God, I haven't seen. Is there still a Piggly Wiggly around here?
One more turn.
Yeah, they didn't quite see it. Slowly. Pausing, turning. No, you're supposed to put your feet at an angle. Never mind. Is there still a Piggly Wiggly?
Yeah, they're on the outskirts.
I don't think I've.
I think they're in Florida too.
Oh yeah, they're all over Florida.
Well, they used to be down. Yeah, I haven't.
Did you notice that? And Better Call Saul, when they're down with Kim in
Yeah,
Florida,
yeah.
the bag said Winn-Dixie.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of strange. Anyway, any final thoughts on Better Call Saul? By the way, anything stuck in your over the last couple of days since we talked about it? I'm just wondering. I'm wondering more about whether that was it with her. And anyway, I'm sort of looking forward to the. Oh, by the way, we have one of our listeners is a woman named Kristen, and she is a huge. You've probably seen her messages on our Facebook podcast page. She's a huge Better Call Saul fan, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul fan, and she is so afraid. She says she's going to riot if they kill Saul Goodman. If they kill him off,
think they will.
She's going to start a riot. And I got to wondering. I never really thought of that. But maybe
I think he becomes prison lawyer.
That would be that he gets caught or something happens and he becomes a star in prison. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. I'm looking forward to next Monday. Anyway, boys. Okay, now obviously as we talk again, it's a podcast, but as we speak today, there's still a lot of questions about the raid on Trump, and we have a lot of talk to do about that. But can I do something else before that? Do we care about?
We got breaking news too.
Oh, what's the breaking news?
Salman Rushdie got stabbed. This morning.
I saw that. Yeah. Well, apparently he was giving a speech outside of Buffalo, New York, to some group, and as he was being introduced, he got attacked, and a witness said that a guy was either punching or stabbing. Apparently, was stabbing because he's bloody. He went down on the floor. They arrested. They stopped the guy, caught him. And Rushdie, I guess, I don't know what his condition. As we speak, we don't know. But again, and I thought they took the fatwa off of him.
Yeah, but there's always going to be nuts out there.
Yeah, again, he wrote the satanic verses.
And we don't know who did it yet.
Yeah.
Let's don't be like that side and always say it's the white guy, like they did was in New Mexico.
Right.
And they immediately said it was a white guy,
right.
And it turned out it was a Muslim killing Muslims.
Yeah. It was probably a transvestite lawyer. I'm just guessing off the top of my head. But it could be. I mean, I think it's as likely as anything else. But I thought they had taken off the fatwa. But like you say, once you put a fatwa on somebody, which means kill him, there's a $3 million reward for somebody to kill him. I mean, would you even go out of the house?
Meanwhile, Cat Stevens is still walking around.
Yeah, he's he changed. He's different now. He's anyway. So the scoop. Let's see. Some nice. What's that?
You were going to do something.
Well, I want to do some personal stuff and some thank yous and real quick.
Do we have something before he does that?
Yeah, it's actually something right here.
So if you can, turn it up so he can hear it too, because he's deaf.
What?
Don't look. Don't look.
Oh, all right.
I don't care if Monday's blue, Tuesday red, Wednesday too, Thursday I don't
It's Puddles the Pity Clown.
Oh my God! I used to sing this song on Fridays.
There's Puddles.
Saturday.
He does a crazy train. That's hysterical.
Who's this again now?
That's Puddles the Clown.
Puddles the Clown. I'm sorry, I don't know Puddles the Clown.
I think he's local, isn't he? Isn't he from here in Atlanta?
That's pretty funny. Did he send that to us?
No.
You found it somewhere?
He would hate us.
That's pretty cool. Oh, yeah. As an entertainer, he probably would hate us. Well, that's cool. Very nice. Anyway, Let It Rip Friday. I used to sing along with Friday I'm in Love kind of deal. Pretty funny. Sure. We got a very nice, sweet card here from a fan of the program and podcast called Judy. And she sends a beautiful card with little foxes on it. The world's pretty wonky right now. But thanks to you, it's still pretty wonderful. And she talks about Thank you for all you do to promote the truths and so forth in the political arena. Special appreciation for being in my life each day. Passes, I wish good things. Anyway, so sweet. Judy, thank you. You're very, very
Are you
kind.
two-timing Denise now?
I could be two-timing Denise. It's very possible. In fact, I just sent Denise, or I've got it in the card to send to her, something as I give her a thank you note when she sends us a check every month. I mean, or every week almost. It's unbelievable. So thank you, Denise, and please don't. I'm not cheating on our Kimmer Babe fans.
Scott says there are 3 Piggly Wigglies in South Atlanta.
Oh no, kid. Well, no, I don't go to South Atlanta that very opportunity. But I'll have to go. I should go there and take a selfie out in front of the sign. Last time I saw Piggly Wiggly was in the movie with what's her name, the old lady, and the guy from Saturday Night Live driving Miss Daisy. When they went to the Piggly Wiggly, we got to go to the Piggly Wiggly, Miss Daisy. Morgan Freeman, one of my favorite actors. He and Denzel Washington. Anyway, all right, we got a billion. Oh, can I do a couple of quick letters? And again, we have, for tease. We'll talk about the Trump thing. We'll talk about the possible mole. We'll talk about Ann Hesh. We'll talk about Riley, the swimming girl, and the fake non-kiss. We'll talk about J.K. Rowling now being a mass murderer. The tranny for kindergarten. Your lawns are racist. And the Florida tag that says live free or die is now a white supremacist call to action. Plus, should we play one of the? We have our friend Anthony sent us an old sound from years ago of Ronald Reagan. We'll do it in a few minutes. I may save that for a minute. It's some very funny stuff. I miss him. The more once in a while a Ronald Reagan thing will pop up, and I look back and I think, God, what he just made me feel better. You'll see when we play this joke coming up. You'll understand what I'm talking about. Also, I heard Herschel Walker on Glenn Beck this morning on his national show. And so I'm hoping, people said, oh, yeah, da-da-da. But, of course, it's a Georgia race. But, and although, you know what, it reminded me of one thing before I get distracted and get in a couple of thank you notes here. We just got a couple of lovely, wonderful thank you notes. Anyway, Herschel Walker running for the Senate. And the reaction to him and whether he's qualified and things like that reminds me of the 1960 presidential debate. And if you're not old enough to remember it live, you could look it up. It's in all the media, mass communication course colleges and speech therapy or speech classes and communications classes, the famous debate between John Kennedy and Richard Nixon in 1960. The people who listened on the radio overwhelmingly said, man, that Nixon was sharp. He killed him on the radio debate. The people who watched it on television, I think it was the first TV debate ever, I think. The people who saw it on television, since Richard Nixon refused to put on any makeup and he had a 5 o'clock shadow, and he's kind of a surly-looking, resting bitch-face guy anyway, the people who saw it on TV said, oh, man, that Kennedy's a president. He did great. The way if you looked at the facts, that's one thing. If you were to take just the information of the facts between the things that Donald Trump did as president and the things that Joe Potato Head has done as president, you would say, oh my God, we like that guy. If you had taken away his face and his name and his tweets and just put the facts of what he did for the country compared to open borders and the hatred and the division of what the other one did for the country, you would clearly see Trump was one of the best presidents we've ever had, focused on the country and not his own political power. Anyway, we're totally and completely upside down, as in the same way that the left used to be the part of America that screamed for free speech. They wanted to be able to burn their draft cards, burn the American flag. It's how much they hate America during the Vietnam War or the Black Panther movement. Freedom of speech, we have the right to say whatever we want to do, et cetera, et cetera. And we hate you pigs. We hate the pigs, you brown shirt cops. We hate the pigs. Now, all of a sudden, it's people like me who say, I don't trust the FBI anymore. I don't trust the Department of Justice. I do not trust the top law enforcement agencies and the national security agencies of my country. I don't trust them. I know they're corrupt, and I know that they're out to hurt my nation. And we Republicans and conservatives are the ones saying, stop censoring us. Let us speak and be heard. I mean, everything is flipped. How the hell did that happen?
You live long enough to become the enemy.
I mean, seriously, there's got to have been a point at which something happened where there's an X.
I think that, you know what it was?
I don't know
think
what
it
it was.
between the impeachment of Clinton and the Monica Lewinsky, which split the country in half, and Al Gore going to the Supreme Court fighting the election. I think, to me, that was the turnabout in my life. And I think it was a turnabout for a lot of people.
I think the Clinton thing and the Lewinsky thing, where people all of a sudden said, well, if you're a leftist, you say, well, it was only sex, leave the man alone. And all of a sudden, the morality of American leadership became moot or darkened. Stained, got stained, just like me. I think that's probably one point. I'm not sure of the other one, but there was a phase, and I'd love to, if I could live long enough to have some historian actually go back and try to put the pieces together. I'd really love to take a look back at somehow to see how that happened. We've totally switched. It's like the cross happened, and we went from low to high and high to low. Astounding.
And remember, when 9/11 happened and the Republicans were trying to push the Patriot Act and the Democrats were fighting it tooth and nail and trying to get union stuff in there, and it was like, well, wait, they don't care about the safety
taking away
of the
our
country.
freedom. We can't have you Republicans doing that.
And look, they're now using
exactly the
Patriot Act against us.
And they're so happy that the FBI is being used to politically to attack the political opponent of the sitting president. They're ecstatic about it. And it wasn't even a raid in their vocabulary. Again, this whole thing is hysterical. Anyway, we've got a lot more to talk about that in a second. But first, a couple of quick thank yous, and then a personal thing or so, and then we'll have a little fun and do some stuff and whatever. Okay. We got a very nice note here from Mark, who pops up on our podcast Facebook page frequently. He was with us at the Rome baseball game. He was prominently figured in the pictures out at Rome, and he sent us a very nice donation. What he did was, when we started the podcast, we had asked people, we do it for free because I just didn't want to have my name on something where it charged you to listen, but, we appreciate subscriptions. Okay, so we asked people originally, send us the amount for a cheeseburger a month, like $3-4 a month, and we could actually survive if most people did that. Well, most people don't, which is okay. But Mark was doing that, and Mark decided to send us a whole year's worth of cheeseburgers, and actually then some at once. And here's why. We were with Kimmer and Pete at the Braves game. He said, my wife wasn't feeling well, so I came alone. And then, Kimmer, you tagged me in the pictures of that beautiful young lady doing the splits in front of your car. Remember the cops' wives were doing them? They were so beautiful and sexy. And by the way, cops' wives are to be cherished. Yep. Okay, we respect and cherish cops' wives in every possible way. But he said, my wife noticed that. Thanks a lot, Kimmer. And then he said, I was giving you stuff on Patreon until my wife looked it up on the internet and our credit card and found out she thought it was a dating site. He said, no, honey, I swear to God. So he. I hope he's ribbing us. And he said one more. He said, I have one gripe here. I'm behind in the podcasts, but the last two shows I've listened to in a row, Flounder mentioned he went to an Alexis, what's her name, Alanis Morissette concert, and you and Pete said nothing. Gee, guys.
I didn't hear you say that.
You went to an Alanis Morissette concert, and you and Pete said nothing.
I had tuned out.
Gee, guys, that was tossed to you underhand. You should have said, okay, I'll say it. Flounder, there are some things a man never admits. 2, you know how I know you're...
Well, I know I'm not gay because of what happened after that concert with the date I went with.
Did you do Alanis Morissette or something?
Not Alanis Morissette.
Threesome? A foursome?
I was in high school.
Oh, you were in high school?
This is Alanis Morissette.
I never had. You had sex. Did you have sex with a girl after the Alanis Morissette concert?
No, it was more on the
during
the oral presentation.
What? Oh my God! During the concert?
No, when we went
afterwards.
We went back to her.
All right, so you had some kind of contact with a girl after the concert while you were in high school.
Did you strip her or not?
No.
Okay. Well, but he had. Well, anyway, I'm just saying we never had sex, and nobody had sex.
No, don't say we.
Yeah.
Say you.
Just we, white man. What, you got a turd in your pocket? Anyway, Mark, thank you. That is so nice. Thank you note is already in the mail, and also I'll keep this anonymous for this gentleman. But I really, it's really touched me. He sent me a very, very long handwritten letter.
Wow.
I mean, very long handwritten letter. And I'll keep him anonymous, and he sent us a very incredible, generous donation. And he got this by going to thekimmershow.net. I won't go into detail, but I do want to say one thing. We tend to, when you're in the radio business, I've always, my theory was that, keep them guessing as to what you're going to do next, and they'll come back to listen to you again. But the basic thing is just be yourself. If you try to be something that really, you're acting something, they're going to get you. It's just not going to work. So even if you're an idiot or make stupid mistakes, I've never cared about people making mistakes. When people came to our team and worked for us, first thing I said was, if you make a mistake, just, laugh about it, and I don't care. I don't want to do a personal stuff about people if you're just yourself and you're trying your best. But we forget that there are actually people out there. And I think the thing that touches me most is when we hear from someone like this particular gentleman who said he was going through a particular tough time. Now, there are a lot of people who it might be a medical thing, it might be a divorce, it might be the loss of a friend, or 1,000 things that we all go through in our lives. And more often than I can say, and more than I will ever be able to say thank you and appreciate, is people who say we touched them, that we made a difference. And this gentleman says, he said, I owe you a great deal for going through a tough period. That's all I'll say about it. But again, it was that personal touch that we actually helped somebody.
You're making me nervous.
Oh no! I'm not going to give away. He said your afternoon show helped me keep stay sane.
Okay, what about no details?
He listened to us.
Not click in.
Now. He wrote, he listened to the radio. That narrows it down a lot. Anybody who listened to the radio could be writing this letter.
You're going to keep going till you screw
up. No, I'm
not.
Shall I tell the part he wrote about you?
No. He literally said no details.
All right. Well, I'm not giving any details other than he thinks you guys are great, and I was going to tell you how great you are by what he said. Is that going to give away his ID?
How great I am. Just keep
going. Let's say you're such an asshole.
This is very good comments. He literally wrote me and said, please don't say anything, and you're saying something.
Well, I'm going to say one thing, and he asked me to say something, and so screw you. He asked me to say this. If you guys would do this one thing for me.
But he didn't want you to talk about it on the air.
I have to because he wants to do one thing to check out and give some publicity to this. You read that and tell me whether I should read that or not. What an asshole.
Well,
I can't believe you're doing this.
What you could have done is, without mentioning the letter, actually do what he asked you to do without mentioning it.
I'm not giving anything away. There's no way that anybody in the world could know who this guy is. Are you shitting me?
All right. Step one, take your pants off. Oh, wait a minute. I'm reading it's upside down.
The last two lines. He wants us to give a plug. He said to check out. Now, he obviously wants us to talk publicly about this group.
All right. That's fine.
And if you look at the thing for you and Flounder, if you also look at the lines I redlined for you about you and Flounder, a couple things of how he appreciated the stuff that you do for him. That's not going to give him away.
Just saying. I'm just following instructions.
Well, you look at that and you tell me whether you think that would be bad, that would give anything away about him saying, I love the way you write. Oh, no, you can't. Oh, there's only one man in the world who knows the way you write.
I'm just saying.
No, what about the bottom thing? Should we mention this?
Mention the band.
All right. This non-human, he's a robot. He's not a man or a woman. I made a mistake saying he was a gentleman. It was a robot. And not... He says he wants us to check out, he or she, the robot, wants us to check out a local band called Foxes and Fossils. All right. Foxes and Fossils. He says they have a worldwide cult following, decent people, good decent people. Cover band doesn't do them justice. Read the About Us. They're truly addictive listening. Foxesandfossils.com. Foxesandfossils.com. And he says, Flounder, you're mature beyond your years. Oh, no, I gave it away. Oh, God. Oh, no.
I'm sorry, but I will go the extra mile.
And Pete Davis, your writing style and podcasts are excellent. Oh, no, I gave him away. Oh,
who doesn't know?
Oh, you asshole. Jesus.
Hey, you're going to jump me for going the extra mile to protect our listeners.
All right. You and Flounder should just look at him so you can say, it was just a nice thing. Okay. No. All right, Flounder, I'll leave this here for you if you'd like to read, because it was very, very nice. One more thing before I go. I saw this the other day in the store. I'll hold it up to I don't know if you all can see it. Again, you're looking at the store for various things. Once in a while, I get an urge for something, and the cookie aisle for some reason is pretty bare. I don't know why. Well, where I go in Publix, once in a while there's 10 or 15 different times. Sometimes there's 2. I mean, I'm just telling you, it's scattered. And this is brand new. It's stuffed 4 jumbo Nestle Toll House chocolate chip cookies. They're jumbo and stuffed.
Aren't they supposed to be frozen?
Well,
Or
I
chilled?
baked them, and I have one for you,
well, thank
and
you.
I have one for Flounder.
God, what's it stuffed with? Sausage?
No, it's just big. It's stuffed with more chocolate. I mean, look at the picture.
Did you see someone's got a recipe for putting Spam in the middle of
No,
chocolate
please,
chip cookies?
God, you're freaking. And I like
Why?
Spam. I'll make Spam and cheese sandwich, grilled cheese sandwiches with Spam.
Spam.
I love Spam. All right, Flounder, I'm going to give you this part of here about Flounder.
Spam.
Okay, well, I got to take the rest home if I. Yeah.
All right. This is
Anyway.
all right.
Whatever. And here's your.
Just set that there.
Here's your.
He's now putting the cookie over there. I'm going to narrate this while you
Before I
walk
forget.
away.
Okay.
From the
All
microphone.
right. Hold everything. We're good. Everybody's good. And again, this is it's a it's a stuffed.
Got milk?
I do not have milk. I'll bet Flounder does. Okay. Anyway. Putting that over there. Okay. All right. Hold over there. We got. I want to talk a bunch of sports stuff too. Also, the lost wallet. I know you won't want me to say anything, but I've got to get this off my chest because I put something on Facebook that indicated I was having a really bad day, and people are saying, "What was your bad day?" I'm going to explain it and how.
You lost something else?
I'm an idiot. What's that?
You lost
I can't. I'm not going to tell you until I tell you. I can't. Every time I think about it, I start sweating and getting angry.
Connor just wrote, "Mommy, Daddy, please stop fighting."
Oh. Well, I'll tell you one thing. You never have to fight when you're looking for ammo and you can't fight anywhere else. By golly, I've got the place to go. Our friends at deadcrowdefense.com. Dead Crow Defense. This is not a gun store. It's your personal arms dealer. deadcrowdefense.com. By the way, now they have a special Kimmer code discount. I'll tell you about here in a second. And again, just for kicks, if you're not doing anything right now, just look it up on your phone or internet, whatever. deadcrowdefense.com. It's not just ammo and weapons and things like that. It's gear sales of all kinds, protective gear, safety gear. You'll see from a vast selection, ammunition. By the way, it hasn't been this easy to get a suppressor in America since the 1930s. You may have to wait a couple of months, but other places will make you wait a couple of years to get the approval for it. But Dead Crow Defense takes things into your hands when they take care of what you're looking for. They don't scoff if you're looking for a special kind of ammo or special caliber. They make firearm sales and suppressors, ammunition, and gear sales easy and painless. If they have it right there, it ships the next day. DeadCrowDefense.com for the in-stock items. And here's a phone number in case you want to call, see what they can do for you right away or what's up in the future. Here's the area code, 678-576-9117. You look them up by DeadCrowDefense.com. And if you want to get the sales team, shoot them an email at sales@deadcrowdefense.com. Ta-da! Notice how that ties in together there. They are your personal arms dealer. And by the way, if you mention the code Kimmer, put down Kimmer, Kimmer, you get 10% off your next 2 purchases. It's just a way of saying thank you. And we say thank you, deadcrowdefense.com, because they're supporting in this podcast. And I'm telling you, we know how tough times are. And we are very grateful. Very, very grateful. Dead Crow Defense, your arms dealer. Yada-da. Oh, was that a whale?
Manatees.
Oh, manatees.
It's the Homosassa Springs live camera. You can watch them float around. It's pretty cool.
Well, at least they don't move. I've seen many live manatees when I was down in Florida, and they're really. I mean, they scare the crap. If you see them coming, they look, weird. But
they swim right next to the alligators, and alligators won't touch them.
I don't know why that is.
It's because of their fat content. The alligators can't digest them very well, and so they know it.
I'll be damned. And of course, the danger is they go to all where the heating plants are to get all the hot water coming out of electric plants and stuff, and they get hit by propellers on fishing boats and everything. But
yeah, don't feed them. Don't feed them.
No, don't. Yeah, you can't. Otherwise, they'll
come close to the boats if you feed them, and that's not good.
It's a bad thing. Okay, have you ever lost a wallet?
Yes, I told you that story where I know there's a God, when I lost mine at Stone Mountain that time, and I went back the next morning. So
And it was that you found it.
well, it was. We had been drunk all day drinking, and I just got paid. And that, you live paycheck by paycheck
Right.
in 1980.
Yeah.
And I just got paid with 2 checks, like $700. So that was like 2 months worth of.
That's a lot of money back then.
Food
What we were doing
rent,
in 1980.
Rent was $200.
Yeah.
Something like that. And I got the next day. I couldn't find my wallet. And we talked our way back into Stone Mountain Park at like 7 in the morning. And it's this huge waterway under a spillway. And I walked up and down. And I said, I can't find it. And she said, well, come back. You got to go to work. And I walked back out. I stubbed my toe under a rock, under the water. And it felt squishy. And I go, there's no way this is, oh, God, please. And I pulled out my wallet.
That is unbelievable. Do you believe that story?
And I said, there is a God.
Yeah.
I held it up and said, there is a God.
Yeah. Well, yesterday I had my heart doctor appointment. And so a half hour before the appointment, I took a shower and I'm putting on my clothes, and I keep my wallet in my pants pocket. So when I picked out a pair of jeans to wear and I put the wallet in the pants. Okay. So when I came down in the morning to put on my pants, I realized my wallet wasn't in there. And so I started frantically looking. And so I wonder if I left it over here. And I looked and looked and looked. And I thought, geez, I didn't take it out to call anybody on the phone to look up a credit card number. So I didn't take it out of my thing. And I looked in the car, and I looked in the trash barrels. I looked in the refrigerator. I looked in the freezer. I mean, I honest to God, I did. I looked in closets. I went upstairs. I looked in places. I looked in the upstairs bathroom, which I haven't been in 9 years. I mean, basically, I never go in there. I looked everywhere, and I couldn't find it. I looked in the car, and because I sometimes, when I go to the stable, I'll put stuff in the car console and stuff like that. And I looked, and I said, oh, God. And what happens when you can't find your wallet? Driver's license, credit cards, maybe I don't keep it in my Social Security card near anymore because you could lose it. But, my carry permit, although that's not required anymore, but still it's an ID thing. My insurance cards, all this stuff, plus baby pictures from 1972. I mean, anyway. So I call places I've been the last 2 days, knowing that there's no way that I didn't walk out of Publix with my wallet because I put it anyway. And I still called everybody, and I'm going frantic for a couple hours, and I'm ready to go to the doctor. And I call him and I say, I can't make my appointment. I don't have a driver's license. If I get caught, I'm going to jail. Well, I said, my wallet's gone, and I said, so can I make? It was just a checkup. It wasn't like I was, having an emergency. And he said, well, I'll have to call you back and make another appointment. So here we go. And so now I'm just absolutely frantic. I'm screaming, and I'm going out of town next week with no ID, no credit cards, no wallet, no license. I mean, see what I'm? You would say, oh my God! And I'm thinking, no, I'm not. I'm not going anywhere. So I called my bank, Adam Thomas at UBS. He has my credit card. I have a bank card, and then I have one Visa thing. And so I canceled the Visa card. I called UBS. I don't want anybody to take it. If my wallet's gone, I don't want them to start charging stuff.
The thing is you can put all that stuff on hold.
Anyway, and I also called I canceled my Exxon credit card. I didn't cancel. I told them it was lost to send me a new one, and they said, okay. Although that was all automated, so I never actually talked to a person. Yeah. But anyway, so I'm canceling these credit cards, and then as I'm ready, I talked to the doctor, and he said, well, we can get you in at later on this afternoon. And so I said, okay. So I got in my car, and I was going to go to the driver's license bureau, which is not that far away, hoping I wouldn't get pulled over in the meantime to just get a temporary something. And I said, oh, I'll take one more look. And I looked in the thing, and I found my freaking wallet.
Really?
And of course, it was too late to uncancel all of my credit cards. So now I have the
That's
only
why you
thing.
Put them on hold.
Yeah, well, there's no such thing.
Yes, there is.
No, there wasn't.
They do TV commercials saying just call up and put it on hold.
Well, no, they didn't say that on the
prompting
prompting
we're gonna do
I
the
got.
ads we did earlier. It's only been on TV for like 3 years now.
They never said if you want to put it on hold, dial 2.
Well, they expect you to know what you're doing and you want to cancel them.
Oh, you're supposed to know their rules without ever talking to them. Oh, anyway, I did what you're supposed to do, cancel me, but da. So now, now I got no credit cards, and so I figured, oh Christ, I got like $9 in my pocket, and I got to last me until I get a new credit card. I thought, oh, you got to be kidding! What am I going to do now? And so thank God, my Adam at UBS and his girls over there overnighted me when I just got a new credit card I can use. But again, I don't have I don't have my Exxon Mobil card, so I'm going to be paying cash for everything until I can get the other credit card in. And it's just, but the thing is, it drove me nuts. And then I had to make another appointment. The doctor said, well, we can get you in this afternoon. So then, because of my stupid idiocy, by not being able to find my wallet, I blew my whole day, and that affected everything else I had planned to do to get done that now I couldn't do because I had to go to the doctor. And by the way, I walk in there and I say, say, I can't pay you because I don't have a credit card or enough cash in my pocket to pay the copay for the doctor's office, which is $50 or $100 or something. No, they say, we'll bill you. We know who you are. We'll bill you. In fact, it was Dr. Adakaran, and Dr. Adakaran has a lot of patients who used to listen to our show. And so every time they go in, they say, how's the Kimmer? And by the way, he couldn't believe it. 30 pounds you've lost? Anyway, and so I told him, and I said, by the way, take my blood pressure right now. I'll bet it's 300 over 200. And actually, they let me rest for about 4 or 5 minutes and took my blood pressure. It was 110 over 65, which is way good for everything that especially
low.
The 65 is a little low. Usually it's 70 to 90, but she said, no, that's you're doing great. So the medicine's working. So the modern medicine, I'm taking pills for my high blood pressure, and it works.
The Saga of the Lost Wallet, brought to you by Atlanta Custom Closets. ClosetPro.net, 404-255-0589. Atlanta Custom Closets. You got a closet, you need to rebuild your closet, whatever. Make the little one happy. ClosetPro.net. But women love their closets.
Absolutely. If you make the girls happy, a happy wife, happy life. I mean, those cliches are absolutely true.
And you know what? The older I get, as a guy, I have to have a walk-in closet now, because I have so many T-shirts and I have so much over the last 40 years. A little bitty closet like we used to have just doesn't cut it anymore.
You need a closet like I have.
I don't even think they make
got one like that.
I bet they don't make little bitty closets anymore. I think everybody demands I'll bet there's walk-in closet. Every building made or house has walk-in closets.
Because because guys collect tennis shoes now.
Or golf shirts or whatever.
Imelda Marcos in here has all kinds of pumps. And
those are all motorcycle
I got rid of
boots,
a bunch, actually, because I didn't remember wearing them.
Anyway. And by the way, I even looked in the dishwasher. I looked in the washing machine
Where
and
was
dryer.
it? It was in the car?
It was in my car. It was
wedged.
Well, my wallet's dark and my car seat's dark, and it was wedged in a thing, and it must have flopped it up.
Get you a light white.
I know.
That's why you always carry a flashlight in your car, a gun in your car, and an overnight bag.
Yeah, I do. I've always.
But again, the gun in your car.
I thought I'd put my hand everywhere it could have gone, and obviously I blew it. I blew it. It was my fault.
You panicked.
I screwed up. And I panicked and I freaked out and I probably lost 8 pounds in sweat. I was soaking wet. I was so mad and so upset that, oh my God, I'm going out of town. How can I go to the airport even? I mean, you know what I'm going to go through? So anyway, I was totally freaking.
Let me ask our listeners. The old trick was, I haven't flown in like 8-9 years, okay?
Wow, really?
So, yeah, last time I went to London. So
it's been a couple of years for me.
If I fly again next week,
yeah.
Is it still the trick to go to the international parking and park there and just take the little shuttle bus to international, and then you can walk over? Because they used to be quicker.
All right, we need help because they've changed. The parking garage situation is horrible. They've shut down a whole crapload of them. Well, somebody needs to tell
There's a service I use that's right next to the airport,
Park and
Peachy
Go.
Park or something like that.
Yeah, I've done that.
That's what I do.
Probably
your
smart.
car is more secure there than it is at the airport.
That's true.
Yeah, I wouldn't. And again, they're shutting.
That's what, again, with your Porsche.
I don't think I'd park it down.
No. And have you seen the new concourse they're rebuilding for $1 billion or something to make it bigger? D-concourse is shrimpy. Anyway, one more thing about my freaking out, and it ruined my day and it ruined my schedule because the things I had to do I couldn't do, and I was trying to get stuff for whatever. Anyway, so
He texted me and Pete, I can't find my fucking wallet. I was like, I'm not going to say anything here.
I didn't get a text.
Yeah, he texted me and you. Yeah,
I didn't get anything that said you.
I thought I sent it to both of you.
I think
I always sent it to both. Maybe I was afraid of waking you up. I'll bet that was it. I was afraid of waking you up.
I went to bed at 6 a.m. this morning.
Whatever.
It was stupid.
But I was having a bad day, and so I got to hankering. I didn't really have anything to eat. I didn't know what I was going to eat for dinner, and I got a hankering, and so I made some of my sweet late dear mother's famous thingy wingies. Thingy wingies. I put this on Facebook.
What are thingy wingies, Cameron?
I did a video of my thingy wingies. Thingy wingies are hot dog buns filled with a delicious luncheon concoction, where you make tuna fish, and in my opinion, the only kind of tuna fish to use is white albacore from Bumblebee in oil. and you squeeze the oil out. I mean, get most of the oil out. They don't want it oily, so get the oil, squeeze the oil out. Put plenty of mayonnaise. Make the tuna fish with mayonnaise, and you can put onion in there if you want to. Some people put other things. I wouldn't, but a little onion's fine if you want. And then you you make hard-boiled eggs, and for 1 can of tuna fish, I would use 2 hard-boiled eggs. Chop them up and put them through one squinky thing on a little egg squeecher, and put that in there. Mix it up with mayonnaise, a little onion if you want to, or salt and pepper, things like that. And then you take a brick of Velveeta cheese and you cube it. You take little cubes about as big as your thumbnail, but square chunks of Velveeta cheese, and you put them through the tuna fish and eggs and chopped egg concoction, and then you stuff that into hot dog bun. I put butter in the hot dog bun, both sides of the hot dog bun inside, and then stuff it with that tuna fish and egg with the Velveeta chunks in there, and then toast that baby until it's melted and toasty. Oh. You see the video? Go to the Facebook video page, Facebook page, on my personal one and the podcast feed. I'll tell you what,
Flounder.
It's freaking delicious.
Flounder,
You'll love it.
When was the last time you ever had Spam or Velveeta?
Never.
All right, then.
I love Spam. I haven't had Spam in years, but I used to make Spam sandwiches, like fried, a grilled Spam and cheese sandwich. You've never had grilled Spam and cheese sandwich?
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Oh, my God. Spam is great. I'm going to go buy some Spam tonight, by God. Now that I got my credit card, I can go to the store.
Got pig?
I was afraid to drive. Yesterday I was trapped in the house because I didn't have a lot of gas in the car, and I only had a few dollars. So I went to the stable and back and stayed home because I was afraid I wouldn't have enough money for $5 gasoline in my car. So
Does Velveeta still come in this like a Coke 12-pack or something?
Well, two things.
Block?
They still come in the big blocks. But if you go to the store in one of their, I don't know whether it's the kosher section or it's not the dairy section, but on one of the shelves are the
dairy.
smaller. No, it's not dairy. So it's like the fake cheese section or whatever that is. You'll see the small boxes, like 4-inch box of Velveeta. They're in. I had to go look for it. It's
I
in
can't
there
remember
somewhere.
last time I saw Velveeta anywhere.
It's like in the section where they have the Goya beans and stuff like that. I think like Mexican food maybe or.
What the hell is Velveeta?
It's a processed cheese-like substance. I don't want to know
sign me up for
I
that.
don't want to know what it is. I don't want to know what's in a hot dog.
For the Velveeta bush.
You have beetle feet, bug antennas. Come on.
The country of Velveeta, somewhere near Albania.
Anyway, so I made
Hell Velveeta.
So I made my comfort food of my mother's thingy wingies, and I got a lot of reaction on that, including from Deborah, who wrote in, "Cheer up, Buttercup. Aww. It'll be better tomorrow." I love it when girls call me Buttercup. Anyway, I thought that was nice. A couple other personal things. I mentioned our friend Denise, who sends us very nice donations way frequently for Denise. I'm kind of feeling guilty about it, honestly. She's trying to support us on her own, I think. God bless her. She sent me, and she must have overnighted it, a Marine Corps money clip.
Damn.
When I said the other day I lost my money clip, it was like the next day in the mail, I got a Marine Corps money clip. It was. I got it after our Wednesday broadcast.
I lost $5,000 yesterday.
I lost $20,000.
Denise is like your iPhone. You just think about it and it shows up.
I couldn't believe it, and I thought, what the hell? And it was Denise, and God bless you. And I feel bad now because they found the other one, so now I have a spare, but that's what I have.
No, that's your new one.
That's my new one. And my other one's a spare now. Yeah, right. Anyway, thank you, Denise. That was very, very sweet. Let's see. Oh, God, we have so much to talk about. Let's do a little sports thing. Holy Crap at Sports, best sports podcast later on today. I noted. Did you watch the Field of Dreams game last night?
I did. I actually sat and watched all of it. Yeah.
Really? Did you see any? I didn't see any. I missed the beginning part. I really wanted to see the beginning part to see how they did it and what it was like and whether it was like the da-da-da-da, and I missed it all.
Yeah, Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr. walking out of the cornfield.
Yeah,
and then having a game of catch. It was.
Yeah. See,
it was cool.
I wanted to. Damn it! I think I was watching Jesse Waters.
I'm sorry.
I was watching Jesse
So
Waters.
many levels.
No, you know why? Because Jesse Waters is really getting very powerfully strong and opinionated and stuff that needs to be said.
You mean his writers are?
And his writers are, but he's saying it out loud, and
Good,
he's going
good
after
for him.
Hunter Biden and going
Good.
after. I mean, so he's doing a great job on television, and so I really hate to miss him. But I forgot about watching the first part. But one thing I did know before that, somebody said, and I think I saw it on my phone on a news thing, Kevin Costner was not going to be there.
So?
Because he got a reaction to him come. I'll bet you he wasn't going to be there.
It was a one-time thing because last year was the first time they did it. It was a one-time thing. I didn't expect him to show up every year. That's a hell of a trip to go in the middle of Iowa for a guy who's busy.
I'll
like
bet
that.
you he didn't
Oh,
go
come
because he
on.
was shamed
No,
for the
he wasn't
wearing
shamed.
the T-shirt.
He sent not a video, but a recorded thing about Ray Liotta.
Well,
that
that's
was
what I was
very
going to
nice.
say. I thought he was going to do a Ray Liotta tribute
He
because
did.
Ray Liotta died.
He did.
Well, he could have been there.
Oh, come on.
Well, I'm mad at Kevin Costner because he made me upset about the fact that I love the freaking
Right,
series.
he's a fake. Yeah,
and he's a
fake.
freaking phony.
He's
and
an actor.
I hate
That's what he
freaking
does.
phony scumbags.
Yeah,
So my opinion is exactly the one I'm going to keep right now. Thank you. Speaking of sports, Pete, did you enjoy the video of Marshawn Lynch? Being dragged out of his wrecked car in Las Vegas. They show the cops video, the dash cam and cop, what do you call it? They wear your own camera on your badge video.
Body cam.
Body cam. And it just kind of show he's in the car, and they show the left front wheel is gone. I mean, it's leaning on the roadway because there's no wheel. It's gone, just the spokes. There's just like 4 spokes. And he's kind of leaning off to the side because the car's leaning and not the left onto the road. And he's still in the car, and they're saying, you want to get out here, sir? You're going to have to get out of the car. And one cop says, yes, sir, if you don't get out of the car, then we're going to have to arrest you for impeding an investigation. He said, no, and the cops are being great. He said, sir, please, just get out of the car. Otherwise we'll have to give you a ticket. We'll have to arrest you and take you to jail. And he said, sir, please, one last time, I'm begging. He really was very nice. And finally, another cop and the other, look across from where the body cam cop was, this big burly cop was watching this whole conversation. Please, sir, could you just get out of the car? Finally, the other cop just says, that's all. And he grabs him and yanks him out of the car. That's the funniest thing I ever saw. Lay down on your face, sir. Put your hands behind you. I mean, if I said, that's all. Pow, he yanks him out of this freaking wrecked up Mustang. And it was totally incoherent. His mugshot looks like he beat him up.
Next time you see the Subway commercial or any commercial he's on, think about him lying face down and ignoring what the cops are saying.
And again, Marshawn Lynch was never. I'm surprised they would use him in a commercial because he was always a kind of a nasty, burly, sullen, unhappy,
he speaks his
miserable
mind.
son of a bitch.
He cussed on the Peyton and Eli thing, which you can
But
do.
still, I mean, you want that guy to be your spocesman?
I've never understood
But
the love affair with this
he was
guy.
a great running back
For a little while.
For a while, for 2
Actually,
years.
he was pretty good.
He was great.
Yeah, he was good.
But as an individual to represent my product, I don't think so.
I will forever hold a special place in my heart. That playoff game where the Saints went up to Seattle thinking it was a cakewalk, and he literally ran over them for 4 quarters.
Yeah, the highlight. You watch his highlights. I mean, he looked like Herschel Walker or. Who's the guy from Texas? Campbell. Earl Campbell.
Yeah.
I mean, just bruising, absolutely bruising. Let's see, a couple of things. Well, let's talk about Anne Hesh. Okay, first of all, I think she's as we speak, she's still alive, but she's dying. She's basically brain dead.
Maybe.
It's Friday as we speak. It's Friday afternoon on the.
They don't anticipate her lasting the weekend.
She's not going to live. But we don't know.
The first reports were she was going to be fine, and now she's getting a lot of bad publicity. All of a sudden, her agent is talking about how she's at death's door. Okay, she may be, and God bless her soul if she is. But it just seems if she makes a miraculous recovery, you're going to hear out. Well, how could you prosecute her? She's been through so much.
Well, first she was seriously hurt, and then critical, and then extremely critical, and then all of a sudden now. And by the way, for the record, they I guess they found fentanyl and cocaine.
Yeah,
that was the word. They haven't done the complete drug test, but obviously she was. I think also had a bunch of alcohol levels. That'd be horrible.
If you're still at her age doing cocaine, come on.
Okay, now 2 things. Or one thing, first of all. As you know, my daughter Jennifer is a recovered cocaine, heroin addict. Got hooked in college in Colorado and has been clean for 15 years. I mean, I'm so proud of her. She's such a tough girl. And she's had a stroke and can barely get around, and she's still. I mean, she's a freaking role model for getting out of the mess she was in for so many years. We didn't know whether she was dead or alive. She went to jail a couple of times. I used to send her money so she could get tampons because she couldn't afford to go to the jail store. I know. I mean, really, they make you. I mean, they really abuse the prisoners in these local lockups on drug charges. It was just horrible. Anyway, Ann Hesh, quote, not expected to survive. Her update, according to her publicist yesterday, she's in a coma in critical condition on life support, and they're determining they are determining to keep her on life support because her organs may be viable for donation, which although I wouldn't take them. Driving under the influence, hit and run, and so on and so forth. I don't think they've even filed charges yet, but again, she's in a coma. Ann Hesh is 53, drove her Mini Cooper into a garage, got out of that, crashed into a home, set that on fire. The woman in the home lost everything. She apparently had fentanyl and cocaine in her system. They're doing more testing, and they're now saying that she is not expected to live, and they're going to harvest her organs if they're viable. You know, I don't really care. I feel bad that she's ruined her life with drugs, but
over and over again.
You know, I mean, how many times? You know, I mean, this has been going. She's been mentally ill apparently for a very long time, and she's admitted that. In fact, what's in one of her books titled "Call Me Crazy" or something like that? I mean, I believe that was the title, is "Call Me Crazy" or "Just Call Me Crazy," or "You May Think I'm Nuts" or something like that. And now she's basically going to die or is dead, brain dead. And it's too bad, but don't come to me. Don't come to me crying about the poor Hollywood celebrities who, if it wasn't for the so, please. Nobody brought this on her. She was she was a famous freaking actress. How hard can that be to just retire from it? Anyway. So again, I'm not trying to. I don't want to blast her.
She's mainly famous for her off the camera stuff, the stunts with DeGeneres and stuff like that, where she basically pretended to be a lesbian to get attention.
I think she was having problems where she identified. I mean, she fell in love with Ellen DeGeneres, and I remember saying that the most wonderful memory she ever had was the first time she kissed Ellen DeGeneres, and they would kiss all day for hours, just making out because she was so in love with Ellen DeGeneres. And I mean, how do you fake that? I mean, anyway,
there was a lot of people
I don't
thought
know,
she faked it,
but clearly she was not sound or able to handle life, and she basically killed herself, but she damn near killed other people with her. And that, to me, don't be making excuses. Poor Ann Hesh. She could have killed a whole bunch of. She could have exploded that house and set the whole neighborhood on, and the parking garage, gasoline tanks and stuff going. I mean, come on. Anyway. So, whatever. One other celebrity in the news. I don't know if you saw this on our friend Lizzo. And again, this is an amazing story. I don't know Lizzo. I mean, we met her before we got fired at the radio station. The last one, they brought us into the sales area, this big open area, and introduced us to this young kind of chubby, cute black girl. She looked about 20 years old. And they said, ladies and gentlemen, making the rounds today, we wanted to introduce you to Lizzo. And I guess her company is part of the 96 Rock thing or something? Or it wasn't 96. The Burt Show or something. I can't remember what it was. But it was some link to one of the FM stations at the company. And so they said, we want you to meet Lizzo. And nobody had ever heard of her. And I think she sang a couple of songs. I didn't stay for it. I heard her once and walked out. She seemed very nice and young. And she kind of reminded me of Oprah, where she was kind of cute and jovial and chubby and happy and, just a nice girl and pleasant. Okay. All of a sudden, Lizzo becomes a big freaking star. All of a sudden, Lizzo wins a Grammy. And I remember she won a freaking Grammy, and we're looking at each other and said, the girl who was in our office?
Like 6 months before. She exploded.
She came out of nowhere.
I know.
And literally, like in weeks. Well, now all of a sudden, and now I haven't watched this. There's a show, of it, the show called The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. They have the Real Housewives of everybody. I've never seen any of them, but I know that they're out there. There's a woman named Kathy Hilton. Is she a Hilton, I'm guessing? Is that the mama?
Probably.
Is Kathy Hilton? I think it's the mama, isn't it?
They don't put mamas on there, do they?
Well, I mean, isn't that Paris Hilton's mother, maybe?
I don't know. She'd be too old to be on that show.
You probably should. Anyway, there's a woman named Kathy Hilton who's a beautiful blonde. Not young. She looks, could be, she's had a little work done. Anyway, Kathy Hilton from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is being called fat-phobic and racist for mistaking Lizzo for the titular character from the 2009 movie Precious.
Well...
Now, the first thing I said was, now wait a minute, Lizzo did look like that, the big, large, very overweight, black, happy, funny, jovial, fat black girl from Precious.
What happened to her?
I don't know, but again, Lizzo reminded me of her too. So anyway, there was an appearance on called Watch What Happens Live. It was a celebrity game show of some kind, and they asked. This girl, Kathy Hilton, was tasked with guessing who a celebrity displayed on the screen was. And the contest was, will Kathy know who this is? It's guess the celebrity, in case you don't know. Okay, so Kathy Hilton thought that Lizzo was Precious. So this girl, Laura, wrote in to say if she thought Lizzo was Precious, a fictional character from a movie which adapted by a book, then she's either 1, a liar, 2, a lying idiot, 3, a racist, or 4, a lying racist idiot. Oh my God! It doesn't stop there. Kelly A. wrote in. When Kathy Hilton said Precious, I actually spit my wine out of my mouth, nose, and probably my eyes. Now I'm out of here cleaning stuff during the commercial break. Jamel, Precious isn't even a real person, and Lizzo looks nothing like her. I don't know what the blank is funny. I expect a hee-haw from the 3 glue sticks, the people on the show, I guess. But the 2 black men laughing is pissing me off. I'm tired of the misogynoir and anti-blackness on this blanking network. Kaylin, when Precious came out, a lot of people used the character's name as a derogatory label to fuel their fat phobia and to bully. So I don't think it's funny that Lizzo, home minding her own business, had to watch herself be called Precious in front of millions on live TV. Holy, people are dead. And that goes on, you could go on for hours on this kind of stuff about Lizzo because the girl thought that she looked like Precious, and she does.
Breaking news, Anne Hesh has died.
Oh, so well, they took her off life support.
She was sick.
To see if they had any organs. They were waiting to see if she had any viable organs. I bet she didn't. I bet that's why they said, no, there's nothing worth saving.
The life she led, probably not. Come on.
Can't imagine.
Maybe her eyes.
All the drugs. And by the way, again, I don't know. I should have looked this up, and I feel a little bit badly, that I didn't put more effort into looking this up. But I'm still questioning, why the hell does fentanyl show up in cocaine?
Because they're putting it, the Chinese did it to Mexico. The Mexicans bring it across, the smugglers.
It kills your customers.
But it puts it in because they can cut it with it. And the problem is if they put too much...
baking soda.
It's supposedly better because it's extra high or something. I don't know.
But why would you kill your customers?
It's not just killing the customers. It's to kill Americans and destabilize the country.
Honestly, I can't imagine. I think if I were hooked on cocaine, I would look for almost anything else to substitute for it, knowing that there's fentanyl in there, and fentanyl can kill you by touching it.
That was her family. Anne Hesh had a family, 2 little boys.
She married,
and she's still doing cocaine.
She had 2 kids out of wedlock, and she married somebody else, and I think I had a kid with him too. After she and Ellen DeGeneres broke up.
If not 3 kids.
So she has at least 2, and I think 3 kids.
Still doing cocaine.
Yeah.
50.
And what else? God knows. It's a shame, it's too bad. It's too bad. Okay, hold everything. God, there's so much more to talk about here today, including what they're saying about J.K. Rowling. Also, you racist lawn keepers. And the Live Free or Die is now a calling card for white supremacy. But first, no matter what your color or what you're looking for or how they can help you, M&S Title Pawn is there to take care of your situation, whatever you're looking for, how they can help you out. In beautiful Bremen, Georgia, M&S Title Pawn. I say it like that because the name of the company is the letter M and then the letter S, Title Pawn. So it's M&S Title Pawn. The reason I say it like that is because when you look it up on the web, you spell it manstitle.pawn.com because that's how it would be spelled out. Okay. Bremen, Georgia, right there on 306 Laurel Street, Suite A. M&S Title Pawn, open Monday through Saturday. Visit them in person. If they can get something for you or from you, they're very happy to help out. Here's a phone number if you want to give them a buzz and see how they can take care of business for you. Here's the area code 678-821-3337. And again, if they're open in person Monday through Saturday on Laurel Street, Suite A in Bremen, Georgia, and on the web, spell out manstitle.com, M-A-N-D-S title.com for M&S title.com. What?
Did you really start that commercial with no matter what color you are?
Well, I'm trying to be inclusive. You know, the equality on this program is hard to beat, frankly. I forgot a couple of sports things, I think, just real fast. Right. I was going to say something, and I forgot what it was. Let's see.
Oh, Susan says, are there any upbeat and fun stuff today? It's Friday.
Well, have we done any fun stuff? I thought we'd done fun. I saw the Grissom. Did you see Grissom play the other on his starting night with the Braves when he got called up and his family's there?
Fenway.
Holy moly.
And by the way, that rumor, which I fell for too, and a lot of people did, so I don't feel really stupid, but I feel a little stupid. He is not Marquise Grissom's son, allegedly. He is that's just his name, Grissom, but everyone just assumed he was Marquise's kid, and there's still people out there who are saying it is.
You know why? It's because of the superstar who was 19 years old for the Braves, who hit a home run in his first at bat.
Andrew Jones.
Andrew Jones' son is a baseball player, I think, for the Braves.
No. He was drafted by the Diamondbacks, and now he's hurt.
Okay, but I'll bet you that's what they're confusing is they're thinking of Andrew
and by
Jones.
The way, do you see the interview with this kid, Von Grissom? You talk about
movie
star looks, great smile, very well spoken, dimples. I mean, there's some.
He's beautiful. He's a beautiful young kid. He's beautiful. He's a beautiful young. He's happy and smiling. He's gorgeous looking. He just looks. He looks like a model.
Did he kind of trot to first on his first home run?
No, he flipped the bat. He did a great bat flip.
Well, when you hit it out of Fenway Park,
he hit it over the wall, out of the park.
Yeah,
and his family's there.
Now, and what else did he do? He was.
And then he got another hit. I think he got a single and knocked in a run or something.
But he may be the reason, if he plays well, that they don't re-sign Dansby.
Well, I can't imagine they'd get rid of Dansby, but again,
he wants a lot of money.
They're talking about it. There was some other story. I think I gave you.
And if you have a Von Grissom ready to play, who's going to be cheap.
There was.
Plus, you'd think Dansby would be smart considering what happened with Freddie.
Yeah. What did you say?
Both sports sections?
Probably. Why?
Do you have the other one?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. There's something else in there I wanted to ask you. I gave you the wrong one. Sorry, folks. I'll get
Indigenous people giver.
The NBA. What did I do something bad? I missed it. The NBA is retiring Bill Russell's number 6 for everybody.
Well, it's nice that they did it when he can still appreciate. Oh.
Yeah. Well, man's dead now, so. But again, at least they're doing it. But still, it's a kind of a shame.
Why would you wait till he's dead to do it?
I know it's stupid.
They just now realize how great he was.
I know. Also, the Falcons play tonight against the Lions at Ford Field.
You know what I found out
yesterday? And they're going to play the starters for
yesterday.
a while.
I'm going, gosh, the Falcons should be doing something.
Right.
So I looked it up, and it's like, tonight.
I hadn't heard anything. I hadn't seen anything. There was nothing in the sports section.
I'll watch it.
I'll definitely watch part of it.
I want to see. The thing is, how much will Mariota play, and how much will Ritter play, and how good will they look?
Yeah. Well, a good point. Excellent point. Okay, I'm almost dreading talking about this more because it makes me so freaking angry. This business with the raid on Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago case. But now some of the speculation is that Trump was stealing nuclear codes so he could give them to the Saudi Arabians in return for them having their LIV golf tournaments at his country clubs. Yeah. Yeah. And again, talk about overreaction. 30 SWAT team, combat vest laden, weapon of war. By the way, they brought weapons of war to the Mar-a-Lago. Was there a war at Mar-a-Lago?
Yeah. They were in helicopters and boats.
Snipers,
boats.
That's right, out in the bay in case they tried to make a getaway so the grounds crew wouldn't assault them from the bay. Is that what they were worried about?
And then when Garland comes out and does his thing, he literally said, well, we were going to keep this secret. Yeah. But the president exposed it. It's like, wait a second. So it's better that you were going to create a secret raid against an ex-president and you were supposed to keep it quiet?
Yeah, keep it on the down low. Yeah, they were going to. Well, we try to use the least intrusive measures. And so Trump put out a message saying, just ask me.
Subpoena.
Subpoena. Just ask me. Anyway, so one of the thoughts was that Trump was stealing nuclear codes to give them to our enemies. Again, Russian collusion. Yeah. I mean, again, like he never left. Apparently, they have videos proving that Melania had taken the tags off the mattresses. I don't know whether that's why they looked through her underpants. Apparently so. And when Garland came out and said, "We are determined to apply the law equally." I almost went to the bathroom in my pants. I'm so sorry that I mean, are you kidding me? Hillary Rodham's thousands of emails acid washed. They never put her under oath. They never went into her house. Look, and she had her own server. She took her own documents home with her, and her staff took off the words "top secret" off her documents so she wouldn't have to say that she had top secret documents. Oh my God! They never investigated that. They never had dealing with that. Hunter Biden's laptop, how they set up Mike Flynn. The FBI, again, the FBI agent in writing says, in his notes said, do you want to do a real Mike Flynn interview, or shall we make it so that we set him up to catch him in a lie? I mean, Peter Strzok and Lisa Gummy Bear. Oh my God, they were telling in writing how they're going to stop Trump from being elected, or if he gets elected, they're going to make sure he never serves as president. It was in black and white. The FBI agent who faked the FISA warrant. I'm trying to keep calm. The FISA warrant, the most appalling thing you could do. That began the coup attempt. That allowed the court to allow the secret departments in our government to spy on Americans. The Papadopoulos and these guys who did nothing wrong. They were in a bar talking to people, and his life was ruined. Mike Flynn, they set him up to get him to lie to the FBI so that they could then charge him with a crime. Anyway, I mean, on and on and on.
The National Archives is still trying to get stuff back from Obama.
Obama had 30 million pages of documents. Millions. I don't see them going through Michelle Obama's jockey drawer. Skivvies or whitey tidies or whatever the hell, tidy whiteys or something. He claims that he said, now let me just say this. I'm going to get a picture ready. Got to get to my phone here to think too. He said we make sure that the law applies equally. Of course, he didn't apply it equally when he had all his henchmen on January 6th in a mostly peaceful Ashley Babbitt, mostly peaceful protest. Those were all FBI agents getting the crowd to break into the Capitol, by the way. And those loud voices when the parents go to the school board meeting, he calls them domestic terrorists. Do you think that's equal treatment under the law? I think that our FBI director is a freaking chicken-livered, yellow-bellied coward. I mean, he's a disgrace from Atlanta. Dear God. I think Christopher Wray, Miss Christine Wray, is Stakey, the Wisconsin porn queen by way of Hollywood. I think that he is her model for her chapter in her porn books called "Shut Up and Get in the Van." I guarantee she ties him up and uses him for S&M practice. Why aren't dozens and hundreds of FBI agents walking out of the building, turning in their badges, holding up picket signs, doing something, calling the press, becoming whistleblowers? I mean, I can't believe it. How can you put up with this agency? It's corrupt from the top, and they proved it again the other day.
Yeah. Trump has just released a statement on Twitter.
Yeah.
Number one, it was all declassified. Number two, they didn't need to seize anything. They could have had it anytime they wanted without playing politics and breaking into Mar-a-Lago. It was in secured storage with an additional lock put on as per their request. They could have had it anytime they wanted, and that includes long ago. All they had to do was ask. The bigger problem is, what are they going to do with the 33 million pages of documents, many of which are classified, that President Obama took to Chicago?
There you go. And by the way, if their issue is actually they were trying to retrieve documents that he had illegally, if that's the reason, if Donald Trump declassified them, then he doesn't have a problem. So the issue may be that they believe he didn't have the right to declassify certain documents, but still,
the president has the right to
even so, let's say that there's a debate or a dispute.
There's a debate.
You bastard, you got me again. Who's the girl who wanted us to be funny? There's a funny moment right there, you bastard.
This? Every time I'm watching TV and someone says that, I repeat it.
Hey, what's the code? Well, it's a series of numbers.
Someone asked me that in all seriousness. What's your phone number? Something like that. And I'm like, well, it's a series of numbers.
So, and that girl who just said we never do anything funny is Friday. Well, by God, that's pretty funny. Now I forgot what I was going to say.
I have no idea.
Something about Trump and the declassified. If that's the let's say that even that's the let's say the issue is declassified documents that he should not have. Even so, never in history has a 30-man SWAT team using your democratic weapons of war, it's rifles, assaulted a former president's private home looking for paperwork.
I know.
I mean, what was the threat of violence? They needed 30 SWAT team members with machine guns. Yeah. Talk about overreaction. So clearly, either they are so stupid that nobody said, let me get this straight. You're going to take machine guns into Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago looking for paperwork? Don't you think that's going to look bad because he's been involved in the election? Don't you think for a minute that might not be a good idea? You mean to tell me that nobody at the White House was, somebody said, hey, they're going to raid Trump's place. They're going to what? They're going to what? You know that there had to be discussions, the political impact of what they were going to do.
And they did it on purpose to intimidate.
I want to get to that. Write that down because that's my next point. Intimidate on purpose. The key words on purpose. So clearly, if they were looking for paperwork, it was clearly an overreaction, which makes me believe that they were looking clearly for something else. And if in the midst of the paperwork, there's some note that says we got to make sure the CIA covers up that so and so and the so and so, that's one thing. If they stumbled upon some evidence that Donald Trump or his aides were involved in some kind of a crime, some serious evidence of a crime, then legally, I assume they'll be able to use it because they found it during an illegal investigation, which means it was all a sham looking for something else to get on Donald Trump, which is politicizing the Justice Department by definition. Also, I absolutely believe they did it on purpose. I think these Democrats are in cahoots because I think they want to happen what happened in, where was it, where the guy took a gun in and had a shootout and just got killed with the FBI agents in some little outside of Columbus, Ohio or someplace. It just happened overnight or late yesterday. A guy with a gun said, let's go get those FBI agents, and he apparently fired a couple of rounds, ran away into a cornfield, they had a shoot, and they killed him.
He didn't get any of them?
Oh, he didn't get any of them, but they killed him. Now, that's what the Democrats want to happen. They want a riot. They want a real riot. They want us to take our guns and start causing trouble. And frankly, I made the comment this morning on the Friday call-in at 106.3. Honestly, at this stage, I have never been more upset with my government. Again, I'm a baby boomer. I grew up watching Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. on the FBI story. Really. But again, to me, an FBI agent was the top of the food chain. If you were an FBI agent, you were smart. You're probably a lawyer plus a cop plus you could take care of yourself. You knew self-defense. You were an assassin if you needed to be. These are the best.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, my God, this is the best police agency in the world. Yeah. In the world. And I've always believed that. And again, just a quick recap. Years ago on the radio, I did a little funny Joe thing about some local FBI agents because of a picture was in the paper, and I was making fun of them with a au pair and the doggies, and it was a funny da-da-da-da. The guys at the FBI agent office were listening because they were fans of the show, thought it was funny, invited me over to the FBI office and gave me an FBI jacket. which I gave to my final wife, and we used to wear. I mean, that's how much the FBI and I were, just the respect and the, I mean, I can't tell you. And now I don't trust the FBI. They're dead. They're corrupt from the very top. And the problem is, I don't think they're corrupt as, a guy is not even a special agent yet, but he's working on it, whatever, working at the office. Those guys are still FBI guys. But from middle management up, Peter Strzok, guys like that who were kind of assistant to the so-and-so, those people need to go. Every freaking one of them. Because those are the people who should be the whistleblowers to get the folks on the top who are destroying the credibility of what used to be the #1 police agency in the world. And now it's a freaking disgrace. I'm ashamed. If they come to my door, I'm going to slam the door. Let me see your warrant, and my only words are going to be lawyer. And my bottom line point that I made this morning on the radio was this. I'm so angry about this and about how the Democrats are cheering their police Gestapo tactics, which keeps in line with their socialist left Nazi party. And I'm so angry about this now that I'm hoping that they are so afraid of actual riots, and maybe there will be some demonstrations, so that they declare martial law. And if they declare martial law, I'm in. If they're declaring martial law, there's going to be a gunfight. And when they start coming for your guns, you're going to get them bullets first. Now, I'm not being a role model here. I'm not calling for violence. I'm not advocating violence. I'm not suggesting violence. Violence is almost always wrong, but I'm the guy who came out with a T-shirt and a hat that said, "Give war a chance." And I'm telling you now, if they declare martial law and try to take our guns and do the final step, the final step is to eliminate our political philosophy.
Why did the founding fathers put the Second Amendment in the Bill of Rights?
Right, for this reason. Now, and again, remember this:
for an oppressive government.
This is the most important thing, if nothing else, to take out of this. Now, I'll stop being so newsy. The Second Amendment does not guarantee your right to have a gun. The Second Amendment guarantees the government does not have the right to take it. In other words, you have the God-given right to have a gun. But again, this is so important. It's not a law that says, well, as long as you're an American, you can have a gun. No. It says, God says you can have a gun. We got nothing to do with that. Our law says your government cannot take it away from you. That's a huge difference. You have the natural right to have a gun. And they have to have a reason to try to take it from you. They cannot take your gun from you because of the chance of an oppressive government that needs to be overthrown. And if they declare martial law and start coming for the guns, that's the start of it. And I'll die in a gunfight. I guarantee I'm going to die in a gunfight if that scenario happens. I can't believe I'm saying this.
I know.
In
20 years. In 20 years.
Yeah, I'm born and raised in New England and liberal territory. Went to prep school. I have a master's degree. I'm not a tough guy. I'm not a rabble-rousing conspiracy theorist. A guy who lives in Idaho with gun clubs. I'm just a guy. I'm just a nobody. But I'm done. I'm in. And if there's martial law, I swear to God, it's over. I can't believe I'm even thinking that and seeing that kind of stuff. It's just horrible. Incidentally, here's how bad it's getting. A former CIA director named Michael Hayden, I'd kind of forgotten him. He was in the CIA under Puttitat and Bush, under Clinton and Bush and Puttitat, I believe, under three of them anyway. Michael Hayden, former CIA director. He says because of the theory that Donald Trump has taken the nuclear codes to his house, he believes that Donald Trump should be executed, like the Rosenbergs. Executed.
First of all,
CIA director.
Are we still have the same nuclear codes that we had 2 years ago?
I can't imagine.
They don't change them?
But still, somebody was interviewing him and said, well, Julius and Ethel Rosenberg got caught taking nuclear codes to give to the Russians, and they were executed. Do you think they should do that to Trump? He says, yeah, it sounds just about right. That's what they should do to Trump.
Did you see the CNN expert they interviewed on CNN who said that if you are against Merrick Garland, you're an anti-Semite?
Yeah.
And everybody went,
what the hell's that?
He's Jewish? No one knew he was Jewish.
Is he Jewish?
Yes. No one
How
knew.
can you be anti-Semitic if
Who
you don't know?
knew?
Who knew? My
Who
God. Is anything all right?
So now you're an anti-Semite if you criticize it.
I mean, but can you imagine the ex-CIA director
Saying it should be killed.
saying it should be executed? How
They're
about...
insane. You got to
They are
realize what we're
insane.
doing. They're power hungry. They don't care about the country or you. They only care about the party and the power.
And again, it's all Trump hate. There's never been, no one would ever have said these kinds of things except against Donald Trump. They didn't feel this way about Goldwater when he was running for president or Nixon when he was president. Nobody ever said,
Did you see what the outgoing guy who started, the CEO, president, whatever, Whole Foods, which is a very liberal company, basically has come out and saying he's worried for the country because everybody's turning socialist.
yeah. I think that's going to affect the America's commodities. By the way, socialism running who gets food and how much and where and when and stuff like that. I mean, that's the next step, controlling everything, including what you eat. Like they're doing in schools. I mean, they can take over everything. The judge, my God, Bruce Reinhart, again, big Putty Tat supporter. Jesse Waters had some great stuff on him last night. He is so woke and so far left that he was passing along YouTube condemning people who were born into houses with both parents. Take one step forward. Oh, obviously you were born into a racist family, shit like that. And he was putting all that stuff on YouTube. He's been a Trump hater for years. He got caught being a Trump hater, and they had to scrub his entire social platform on the judge because it shows how biased he was. And that's why they went to him, obviously. One more thing about the IRS, and this Garland talks about equal treatment by the FBI. They didn't treat Lois Lerner equally until finally she got caught. But again, she got away with it. They didn't go bust into her house at 4:00 in the morning. And speaking of the IRS, have you seen? I got about 15 emails on this. Have you seen the latest job description for an IRS agent?
Yeah.
Major duties, quote, adhere to the highest standards of conduct, especially in maintaining honesty and integrity. 2, work a minimum of 50 hours per week, which may include irregular hours, and be on call 24/7, including holidays and weekends. 3, maintain a level of fitness necessary to effectively respond to life-threatening situations on the job. This is IRS agents. Carry a firearm and be willing to use deadly force if necessary. Last one, be willing and able to participate in arrests, execution of search warrants, and other dangerous assignments. That's your new IRS. And 87,000 new IRS agents.
Yeah. Coming after middle class.
Even I mentioned the Congressional Budget Office says they're going to get most of the money, 90% is going to come from under 200,000.
Have you heard any Republican leader come out and say the first step on day one will be to get rid of all that? And to cut those
They're
jobs?
mostly silent. I mean, the only people who, once in a while, somebody goes on Tucker or Jesse Waters on Fox and says, oh, we need to clamp down or cramp down. But I don't see anybody screaming and yelling. I don't see them,
How can they afford that, but they can't afford 87,000 school guards?
Or 87,000 border agents. Or 87,000 people to take our to protect the schools and churches.
How many schools are there in this country?
Probably 87,000. You could have a guard at every freaking school. Probably have 2 guards at every school for less money than you'd have to pay an IRS agent. And still be qualified. And again, guys like me, with gun permits and military experience, would do it for free. Or a gas card, a $50 gas card once a month to help patrol high school grounds. I'd do it, wouldn't you? Anyway, I'm just saying, the whole thing is freaking ridiculous.
I'd rather be on the school board.
Well, that's again. I think that's laudable. I hope you do it. I do.
Yeah, did you see that? Is it in Oregon? Some public school removed God from, say, in the Pledge of Allegiance.
It was Fargo, North Carolina. The school board took that out, and you're telling me in Fargo, North Dakota, they don't like the pledge. But the school board said, "Now we're going to do it because it was racist or not inclusive."
It wasn't inclusive to Muslims and Islamic religions
because they're huge there in Fargo, right?
Yeah, now, Fargo's got so many of those Muslims.
I love the fact in Albuquerque, it's a white man who's been killing all these, and it's a Muslim.
It's like the meme that's been going around about Brittany Griner, and it says, if Brittany Griner isn't allowed to go back to the WNBA, it's possible they could lose hundreds of dollars. The WNBA.
I still say it's a man.
She's a man,
baby.
I mean, come on.
If she was, the Russians would have outed her. I think they would have done that.
Well, anyway, I don't care. You know, I don't want to kiss her, but I don't care whether she's a man or not. She looks like a man. I'm sorry. Look at you. Can't tell me that doesn't look like a man. I'm sorry. I'm just. No, well, I mean,
how about not going to another country and breaking their laws?
Yeah,
you know?
there's not. Well, whoever heard of that? Let's see. I want to play the Ronald Reagan funny thing here in a minute. First of all, I got another. Speaking of Donald Trump, and also speaking of sports, what's that on my glasses?
Kimmer, not knowing what's on his glasses, brought to you by FarmhousePrintingCo.com, right here in Sonoya.
Yeah.
Custom shirts and hats and signs, Kimmer show stuff, and holy crap, it's sports stuff, drink up Shriners, anything you want, they'll print it. No minimum order, 1 or 1,000, it doesn't matter. And now with laser engraving.
Yes, sir.
Laser engraving right here, FarmhousePrintingCo.com.
Travel mugs, hats,
Tumblers.
shirts, stuff from my daughter. I did. So I've got more pictures coming up too. I just a couple of days ago saw the story about the girl named Riley Gaines, who is a swimmer, a girl swimmer.
Rowdy or Riley?
Riley, R-I-L-E-Y,
Okay.
Riley Gaines, and she, a former University of Kentucky swimmer, believes that the media once again was trying to use her to condemn Donald Trump as though she was trying to get away from him, much like little girls do with Joe Biden.
Yeah.
What happened was Riley Gaines was with Donald Trump at the Conservative Political Action Conference last week. Riley Gaines is an attractive blonde woman swimmer. She does not, college swimmer. She's been on Tucker before. She believes that transgender women should not be allowed to compete with actual women. She tied with that Leah Thomas for 5th at the freestyles. And then she glared at Leah Thomas. It became a flashpoint for the debate. So she's kind of been in the media. But she was invited to speak at CPAC. She appeared on stage, and she was talking about the politics left and so forth. She had no clue that Donald Trump was going to invite her on stage. She said, I met with Donald Trump before the speech, took a photo, we chatted for a while, and he told me, you have you have a front row seat. I might mention your name. You can just stand up. It'll be cool. Trump declared during the speech, I want to keep men out of women's sports. And then he introduced this beautiful, great young lady, the swimmer. Would you come up here? Would you please come up here? He said, signaling Riley Gaines, who was off camera. Trump said, this is a great champion. She was beating everybody until one day she looked over and said, that's the largest human being I've ever seen. Talking about the male swimmer next to her. Riley then joined the former president on stage. He appeared to whisper something to her and then kissed the top of her head. Gaines then stepped to the microphone and said, basically, all I want to say is it takes a brain and common sense and 5th grade biology to understand and realize this is blatantly unfair. It's completely obvious. Keep female sports female. Then Donald Trump joked he could beat the swim champ in a race because he's a man, and the two embraced before he resumed his speech. But after Gaines exited the stage, she learned firsthand how the media is manipulating what they saw. What happened was, Newsweek wrote, quote, Trump's kiss attempt on swimmer Riley Gaines creates awkward CPAC moment. Medialite. Awkward. Trump invites swimmer on stage during CPAC speech who recoils when ex-president goes in for a kiss. Washington Examiner. Swimmer Riley Gaines dodges Trump as he tries to kiss her on stage. She flinches and pulls away, viewed over 1 million times. Well, wait a minute. It never happened. She said, I was nervous about being in front of so many people. I never thought Trump was making me uncomfortable. I was never repulsed. They have these headlines say, swimmer awkwardly refused Trump's kiss. I turned my head to hear what he was saying, and people took that and ran with it. They're using it to completely justify footage of President Biden who sniffs little girls.
They don't say a word about that.
Yeah, when did the last time anybody said anything about that? And by the way, how come no reporters ask him why a grown man takes showers with his daughter at the age where she turned into a sex whore? How come nobody asked him that freaking question? How come nobody asked him how he started cheating on her with another man's wife? The one he married. Jill, she was married when he started banging her.
I know. You see the photo of her in his lap when she was like,
yeah.
Oh God, I don't know how old she was.
Slimed. I mean, just creepy.
As the babysitter.
Freaking, I mean, and again, but that's what the media does. And they went after this guy, Riley Gaines, because she's a conservative and believes in female being a female.
Ignore the media. Do what DeSantis and them are doing. Just take them out of the equation.
Yeah,
they're the enemy. Quit talking to them.
By the way, speaking of DeSantis, have you seen this? Governor DeSantis is now getting lambasted because of their new state Florida license plate symbol. Governor DeSantis sent out a tweet of a new Florida license plate with the so-called Gadsden flag. If you don't know what the Gadsden flag is, it's reopening the debate over flags controversy. The famous Don't Tread on Me flag, existing since the founding of our nation,
I have one.
now is associated with far-right extremist ideology. Critics are saying the imagery of the Revolutionary War Gadsden flag dates to Benjamin Franklin, but has for many now come to symbolize a far-right extremist ideology and the Stop the Steal movement that sought to overturn the 2020 presidential election. And they show an image of pre-orders for the license plates going to the Florida Veterans Foundation. And this guy wrote, it's really awfully causes, mostly notably the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol, where violent protesters attacked police as part of an effort to overturn the results of the election. Governor DeSantis said a new Florida license plate featuring the Revolutionary War-era Gadsden flag sends a clear message to out-of-state cars. Critics say it symbolizes a dangerous far-right extremist ideology and a warning to out-of-state drivers. Multiple states have approved of the political messages on plates, including the Gadsden flag. Kansas has one just weeks after the January 6th mostly peaceful protest. A girl Democrat governor of Kansas tried to veto it, but the Republican legislature overturned her. But again, now they're claiming that live free or die is a white supremacist call to action.
Let them claim it all they want. Fly it even higher.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stick it in their face.
Declare martial law.
There's more of us than them. Stick it in their face.
They're also going after J.K. Rowling. Have you heard about this one? What did I say? Dowling. Wait a second. And now I got
again. They've been after her for years now.
Well,
because she says women should be women, basically.
J.K. Rowling. So I think I got the whole name. She the Harry Potter girl. BuzzFeed is now ranking J.K. Rowling among major murderous villains such as O.J. Simpson, Jim Jones, and Benedict Arnold. Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling, major villains of history, including Jim Jones, 17 famous people who started out as heroes but lived long enough to become major villains. Jim Jones stood up for civil rights when it was really unpopular before emerging as a cult leader who killed 918 people at Jonestown, suicide pact. O.J. Simpson was a famed football star charged with a brutal murder. Benedict Arnold betrayed the Continental Army and defected to the British during the Revolutionary War when he was a war hero before that. It listed Vichy France leader Philippe Pétain and disgraced comedian Bill Cosby on the list, and then goes to J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling went from beloved children's author to a TERF. A TERF is a trans-exclusionary radical feminist. J.K. Rowling went from beloved children's author to TERF after making a number of anti-tranny comments and then repeatedly doubling down on them.
Good for her.
Supporting the assertion that trans women are women, and she denies it, and now they're calling J.K. Rowling everything but a ham sandwich.
But the majority of people agree with J.K. Rowling.
Of course
we're letting
they
a small
do.
cadre of mean-spirited people try and change our entire civilization. Don't let them do it.
I know. Well, there's
Ignore them.
Oopsie-daisy. How come my phone is scribbling?
I don't know.
It started scribbling. One more thing that's kind of related to this, and it's almost too hard to believe.
By the way, if you pick up your phone, you hear some strange clicks or anything, it's the FBI.
Oh, it could be the FBI. Remember the other day, we were talking about a teachers' union pamphlet which was sent out to various teachers, school systems, I guess, and it was involving ways of trying to teach critical race, a way so that you could change your pronoun if you didn't want anybody to know or something like that. Remember, parents and stuff like that. And we one of our reactions, one lady watching the podcast said, no, that's not true. I've been a teacher for years, and I have friends with teachers, and that's not true. They're not doing that kind of thing. Well, they are doing that kind of thing. I mean, they may not be doing it at your school, but they're doing it. I mean, I read the document. It's real. I mean, it actually happened. And now, here's another one. Check this. California Department of Education is advocating books that promote transitioning your gender in kindergarten. The California Department of Education's recommended reading list promotes books for kindergartners among students transitioning, and recommends books for high schoolers about students kneeling for the national anthem. The recommended reading list is housed in the, quote, Curriculum and Instruction Resources section of the California Department of Education website. Quote, Call Me Max, a book listed as being appropriate for grades K through 2. That's kindergarten, first, and second grade. Call Me Max is about a student who, quote, lets his teacher know that he wants to be called by a boy's name. In the book narrated by Max, he raises his hand when his teacher called his name on the first day of school. I wondered if she thought my name didn't make sense for me. I felt that way too. It also describes Max deciding which bathroom to use. Again, this is kindergarten to second grade. When I went to the store with my dad, I went to the bathroom with him. When I went to the store with my mom, I went to the bathroom with her. But at school, I had to pick which bathroom to use. The description for the book, called Calvin, says Calvin has always been a boy, even if the world sees him as a girl. It Feels Good to Be Yourself is a book about gender identity, targeted for kindergarten through second grade. It Feels Good to Be Yourself. It's an expansive, affirming look at gender identity and explores identities across the spectrum as it introduces various children. Your gender identity might match what people thought. Again, this is reading for kindergarten to second grade, for people to read this to their kindergarten to second graders. Your gender identity might match what people thought you were when you were born, or it might not. The book tells the story of Alex, who is both a boy and a girl. When Alex was born, everyone thought Alex was a girl, but Alex is both a boy and a girl. This is Alex's gender identity, according to this new book in the California Department of Education recommended reading list for kindergarten to second grade.
Gee, who could have written a book like that? Who could have written that book? Oh, I don't know. Maybe Satan?
Oh, my God. One more.
Uno mas.
And then we're going to do some fun stuff. What?
Bella, I mas. There's more. Yeah.
One more. Your lawn means you're a racist. Here we go again.
YouTube is frozen, by the way, for some reason.
Oh, our YouTube it did?
YouTube is just spinning.
Uh-oh. Well, I don't know if we can we reset it or anything?
Fine on my end. I'll have to take a look.
All right, well, we'll try to fix it for you as we speak. Once again, the traditional symbol of American success has become a target of those who attack private property rights and the American way of life. Yes, your lawn. Those closely cropped... It's hard to speak. By the way, my teeth come in Wednesday. I get my teeth Wednesday. Yay. So anyway, those closely cropped grassy areas that surround most single-family homes, the basis for the attack, typically environmentalism and racism. A title in the New York Times, The Great American Lawn, How the Dream Was Manufactured. They actually did a film about it. Here are the concerns. More water is used to irrigate grass than any other plant in the country. Americans use millions of pounds of pesticides to keep grass weed and bug free. Lawnmowers pollute the air and cause climate change, and lawns are environmentally useless. Also, you racist, George Washington and Thomas Jefferson planted large lawns at their estates, planted and maintained through the backbreaking labor of slaves. The mechanism made lawns available for the privileged masses after about 1870 with manual lawnmowers. GIs after World War II settled in the suburbs with green lawns unless they were black people. The narrator condemns the symbol of an American dream that is recognized by most but only attainable to some.
Well, what did black people have as yards?
Well, black people were not rich enough or able to afford houses that had lawns that they could take care of.
If you have chickens, they're going to eat all the grass.
Our attacks, of course, are very simplistic because all plants, including grass, absorb carbon dioxide and emit emit oxygen, so go screw yourself. But again, if you have a nice lawn, it's because you're a white supremacist and a racist, and you have your lawn because of black people who built America based on slavery.
This is a
Here
small
we go.
cadre
Lawns.
of mean-spirited people that do not represent sane people or the great majority.
I know.
Ignore them.
I know. One more thing, I had to point it out because we have to laugh at these people. We have to,
no, I'm talking about you. I'm
we
just
have to-
talking about. Don't let them change what you do in your life.
We have to make fun of these people.
Mock
And if
them.
somebody comes back and says, "Boy, you have a great lawn," say, "Thank you. I love my lawn. It makes me feel good."
Step on my lawn and find out.
My father used to mow our lawn twice in different directions. He'd mow it up and down, then in sideways. Why? That's right, because it looked beautiful. People would stop. I'm not making this up. When I would mow the lawn. Our last house was a big old 100-year-old 7-bedroom country house with porches and shit. Well, we had 5 kids in it. We had family of 7, so we had a big house. But my father would do all the lawn and manicuring. It would look beautiful. But when I would go mow, when I would do the lawn, if he wasn't doing, I would do the lawn, and people would literally drive by and stop on the road and say, "My God, your lawn looks so beautiful," And I'd say, "Well, it's my father who really takes care of it." But again, and he was a brilliant businessman guy, but he took care of that lawn because he was a World War II guy who came back and took pride in his possessions, in his lawn, in his house.
Yeah, when people had pride
we
in
had
what
pride
they did.
in your
Pride
accomplishments.
in everything they did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's the way I was raised. I mean, anyway. But your lawn is racist. I noticed again, I saw some video. Las Vegas is flooded again. Have you seen the water pouring into the casinos in Vegas? How could you build a $1 billion community of casinos with all these lavish, they have the MGM Lion Casino and the pyramids, and they're not waterproof. The rain's pouring in through the roof. All the tables are soaking, flooded out. When it rains in Vegas, it's the second time now in the last week where they've been flooded out. There's like a foot of water on the floor, and all the card tables and all the bingos, everything else is all totally soaking.
I'm glad you told me that because Vegas was one of the things I was thinking about next week.
Well,
so,
I would do a little Googling on what's available because you might have.
I'm
again,
not
rain.
gonna go now. Screw it.
Well. The only thing I went to Vegas years ago with my daughter Sarah on a kind of a golf trip, and the problem is they have some wonderful restaurants. There are shows and restaurants, the food. You can spend a lot of money, but you can have some of the greatest meals and greatest shows anywhere you can go. So, there's a lot of entertainment stuff, but you can't drive anywhere. You can't go anywhere. It's mobbed. It's people, and
Humans.
And again, when you go to, we stayed at the brand new towers of the Caesar's Palace, which were pretty. It's back when I was working, and I thought I had money, so it wasn't sparing any expenses, and it was beautiful. But there, again, you get tired of the fact that there are no windows, and when you go in the casinos, you don't know where you get lost. You don't know where you are. There's no easy exit place. They don't want you to know where you are. They want you to be stuck in there where you just keep walking around, and it's true, and that's what happens, and they do it because you spend more money that way. So anyway, but again, Vegas is flooding again, and I see water pouring onto the roulette tables. That can't be good.
You haven't had a good time in Vegas unless at some point 2 thuggish security guards use your face to open the door.
You drag.
I want you to take him. I want you to throw him. I want to use his face to open the door.
Yeah, you want the hammer? You want the hammer or the money? Remember that from casino? You want the hammer or the money? You got to hammer your hand, or you take the money that you cheated us out of. You want the hammer or the money? Robert De Niro. You want a hammer or the money?
Excuse me, sir. You want to take your foot off the table?
I thought that was fairly amusing. All right, coming up.
Don Rickles coming going, he told me to go F myself.
Yeah, right. Rickles played the casino manager. You hockey puck. Coming up, we will talk about the Silver Beatles, John Paul Jones and the Jimmy Page Boys, Alice Cooper with the #1 hit, and an unusual happening for an unusual foreign artist on the American charts, and why he shouldn't have taken that last plane flight. Plus, Jack Nicklaus in the news and Mickey Mantle. All that coming up here in a second. First of all, let's say you're driving along in your car.
You're driving along in your car.
Oh, damn it, I did it again. Okay, you're driving along in your car. And you see a car coming at you, and you say, man, I've always wanted that so-and-so car. Then you think to yourself, wait a minute. I'll bet I could swap my car for that car. Might be something to work out. You know how you can do that? one of our Kimmer Show podcast sponsors, swapmywhip.com. Whip is, of course, a colloquial phrase, comment for a ride, for a car. Swapmywhip.com. You're driving along, you look up swapmywhip.com, and you see like-minded car owners who say, you know what, I'm willing to swap my whip, something I'd like, and maybe your car fits their likes and you fit their, it's a boom, bam, boom, you work out your deal. No dealerships, no middleman, no used car salesman. You look at swapmywhip.com, you spot something you like, you get in touch, boom-bitty bomb, you're all set. And it's not just cars. How about a boat, jet ski, off-road ATV type things, or all that kind of stuff? Swapmywhip.com. And if you use the coupon code KIMMER, KIMMER, it's 180 days of free premium listings on swapmywhip.com. Once again, swapmywhip.com. A couple of birthdays of note. Oh, by the way, I wrote something down that, now I lost it. I can't find it. I want to do the Ronald Reagan thing. Can I do that? Our friend Anthony, I get a bunch of messages from Anthony, from a lot of people who send us stuff, and every once in a while we get to play something on the radio, and I forwarded this to Flounder from Anthony. I miss Ronald Reagan. One of the things I miss about Ronald Reagan is he used to make me feel better when he showed that he was, just a decent, funny guy. You're about to hear a story that he tells, one of his famous Russian jokes, and just listen. It's too bad you can't see it while you're doing it. You could Google it on your own, but listen and think about Ronald Reagan and that kind of that smirky little smile he had on his face and that beautiful head of hair. Here is Ronald Reagan telling one of his famous Russian joke stories, just for fun.
Soviet Union by their people among themselves, which reveal they've got a great sense of humor. I've been collecting stories that are told in the Soviet Union by their people among themselves, which reveal they've got a great sense of humor, but they've also got a pretty cynical attitude toward their system. And I told this one, Bill, you'll have to hear it again. I told it in the car. I didn't tell this one to Gorbachev. There's a 10-year delay in the Soviet Union of delivery of an automobile. And only 1 out of 7 families in the Soviet Union own automobiles. There's a 10-year wait. And you go through quite a process when you're ready to buy, and then you put up the money in advance. And this happened to a fellow, and this is their story that they tell, this joke. That this man, he laid down his money, and then the fellow that was in charge said to him, okay, come back in 10 years and get your car. And he said, morning or afternoon?
Wait for it.
And the fellow behind the counter said, well, 10 years from now, what difference does it make? And he said, well, the plumber's coming in the morning.
Again, this is Russian humor. There's another one. You want to play the second one? There's another one right after.
His joke setups are longer than yours.
I just want to... Oh, I can't resist. I'm supposed to quit right here. But, in view of the 5 things that I just said, I don't know whether you know it or not, but I have a new hobby. I am collecting stories that I can actually prove are told among the Russian people. They make them up themselves, they tell them between themselves, reveals they got a great sense of humor, and they've also got a little cynical attitude about things in their country. And one of these stories, the one I'm going to tell you, I told to General Secretary Gorbachev, and he laughed. The story was an American and a Russian arguing about their two countries, and the American said, look, in my country I can walk into the Oval Office, I can pound the president's desk and say, Mr. President, I don't like the way you're running our country. And the Russian said, I can do that. The American said, you can? He says, yes. I can go into the Kremlin, to the General Secretary's office, pound his desk and say, Mr. General Secretary, I don't like the way President Reagan's running his country.
He used to make me feel better. He just made me feel better. And
I was young and stupid and didn't appreciate him at the time. I voted for him in '84.
I don't think most
but I
people
didn't appreciate him. I didn't appreciate him.
Well, you have to remember, he was he did the 20 Mule Team
I
Borax
know.
Theater.
And I totally bought into the media attacking him as an idiot.
Right, as an idiot actor who, was a cowboy, one for the Gipper guy.
And after 4 years in office, I took a look around and said, things are going pretty well.
Well, remember, the media would say things like, when he said, ketchup's a vegetable. And of course, then they said, well, if you get a serving of ketchup on your hamburger in your cafeteria at school, you've gotten your vegetable for the and they just made, the only good tree is a dead tree or something. Didn't he say something like that? I don't know. But again, they used to nail him. But look at the facts. Again, it was like it's the Kennedy-Nixon debate. Look at the facts and without the surplus stuff, and you can't help but admire the accomplishments. Anyway, now, did you had some kind of history note you wanted to make, or did you already do that in the past?
History note.
Well, it was some historical note, or
Yes.
and something about the White Devils in America are doing things again. Or was that from the?
Interesting facts. In 2011,
Well.
a 99-year-old Italian man divorced his 96-year-old wife.
97 and 96?
99 and 96. He found her secret love letters revealing an affair in the 1940s.
Holy moly!
That's holding a grudge.
That's holding a grudge.
Real quick, there was a viral video that someone posted where a guy at his wedding had a video screen in the background, and when his wife came up to join him, he pushed play, and it was her banging his.
I
friend's
saw
son.
that. It was in a closet. Like his best man caught. No, it was his best man banging the bride, and somebody else caught him in the closet or something.
Videotaped it.
Videoed it and played it as
She's coming up to be with him, like in her wedding dress and
Yeah.
everything.
Not married yet?
No, it was the day of the wedding. Wasn't it the day
It
of
was
the
the day
wedding?
of the wedding.
He didn't marry her, did he?
I don't.
I don't know.
think they stopped.
What it looks like is the reception. So if it's the reception,
might- my
You know,
God.
I'm trying-
done it.
I can't remember, but I remember the story that they got caught on video, and oh my God! But it was the day of the wedding. But
Well, maybe she's getting one last in.
Well, that's obviously.
Get it out of her system.
So I guess you
Or
have to
in her
salute her
system.
for that. Well, as long as that's the last one, honey.
Yeah,
From now on, you're going to be
well,
faithful.
believe me.
Oh, I believe you now. Yeah.
You know what? I'm sorry. We've been told all our lives about this, and this. I just don't believe that we are supposed to be monogamous, and it's a sad that now some people are, and I understand that. But most human beings are just not monogamous.
No, oh no, wait a minute. No, I guarantee you, we were not designed to be monogamous.
It's a constraint.
It's
A
culturally
constraint,
we decided,
which we choose.
right. I think we were designed to be basically like the animal kingdom, to be packed to take care of us in groups where the stronger ones would go and be in charge of security and procuring the food, and the weaker ones would be in charge of the cultural stuff to get things going. And as it turned out over time, we decided that if you paired off, that you would be able to take care of one person better than a whole group. Maybe I don't know what.
And
how
don't give
it
me
started.
don't give me the biblical stuff on this and religious, because they used to have 40 wives.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that the sex drive was given to us to make sure that we keep going with the population.
Procreate. That's the one
Yeah,
job.
yeah.
And I failed miserably.
Well,
as far as I know.
Well, you may not
I was
be.
having beers with a buddy of mine yesterday, and he was asking me about, like, I've never been married and no kids, and I was like, I don't know if this is selfish or not, but I don't need somebody. I don't need to depend on somebody to make me feel better. Again, sometimes I like companionship, and all that, but I like the
I never
single
looked
lifestyle.
at it. I'll be well. Okay, first of all, my daughter Jennifer's probably watching or listening right now. I love you, sweetie. But well, no. I'm a baby boomer again. So when you're a baby boomer, you go to school, you do well, you go to college, you get married, have a family, and boom. Okay. So when I got married, clearly, I was going to Vietnam in 2 weeks, so that's why I got married at that particular time. But when you come back, when you're married, you have a family, and we waited a couple of years and then started having, because it was natural to have a family. But it wasn't like I said, I need a child to feel better about myself. I mean, I never, ever thought that. I never thought about my ego living forever in a child. I mean, it just wasn't, it was just part of what you raised a family to keep America going. And just, that's what Americans do. So, but again, it wasn't, so if I didn't feel like I needed a child either. I mean, I think that's perfectly normal. I guarantee you, though, if you, at the age of 23, had gotten married to a woman who's the age of 22 or 23, at some point you're going to talk about having a family.
Yeah,
unless you know, and I don't know whether you feel this way. If I don't ever want kids.
No, the way I look at it is if at ever some point in time I do meet that someone and she wants to have a child, I'm all about it.
Okay, see,
but if it doesn't happen, I'm fine with it too.
I think that's probably most men, because it's, again, I think this is pretty much up to the girls in most cases, just culturally. But I mean,
they're the one that bears the child.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah, the ones that pay for it.
Okay, something about a white devil, or did we already cover that?
I'm getting to that. What are you
I'm sorry.
rushing me?
I'm just trying to make sure we get all of the happiness involved for that.
A 2003 Austrian study found that having a cat in the house is the emotional equivalent of having a romantic partner.
The emotional. Well, I'm emotionally tied to pets.
You need a cat.
No, but my cat slept on my face. I told you, our last cat, Shyster. My final wife got him because she thought it was going to be her cat, but he became my cat, and he slept on my face, literally on my neck and my face when I sleep on my side. And when I would turn over at night, every time I turned over, he would jump up and then sleep on the other side. And would never leave my face.
A 2009 study found that farmers who called their cows by name, my grandfather would do that, call them by name, had a 250-liter higher milk yield from those who did not.
I'm sure of that, and I know that playing music for cows and talking to them and soothing them is just the same way with horses. If you have a certain affinity, horses know all about it.
Okay.
And I do it every day.
Let's see. Major Torre has put out a good tweet here.
All right.
You can either know history or trust government, not both.
Because the more you know about history, the more you can't trust government.
C.J. Worleyman is a liberal pundit and tweeted out, because there's some killings of Muslims, like 4 of them out west.
Yeah.
Muslims, particularly Pakistani Muslims, are being targeted for assassination in New Mexico. The perpetrator is most likely a white supremacist, but would not be surprised if we learned he or she is a Hindu nationalist. He not only threw us under the bus, he threw the Hindus under the bus.
Holy moly.
Afghan man Mohammed Sayed charged the killing of Muslims in Albuquerque. It was a Muslim.
Muslim who did it.
A Muslim who did it.
Again, that's your media.
By the way, here's a photo of the spam inserted in the chocolate chip cookie.
Oh, God, no. Jeez, God.
It looks
Who wants chocolate on Spam?
Here's something that should have been done here a long time ago, but it was done on this date in 1869.
Yeah.
Self-proclaimed Emperor of America, Joshua Abraham Norton, issues an edict abolishing the Democratic and Republican parties.
I love it.
All right.
A couple of birthdays of note here. George Hamilton, he of the suntan fame. It says here he's 83. I thought he'd be 100 by now.
Well, he's leather.
He's been around a long time.
He's a strip of leather now is what he is.
George Hamilton, God. And he looks the same. And I don't know. He must have had some work, but he doesn't look like he's had work.
He's in a porch commercial. Have you seen it with the back patio?
Yeah.
Where they have him sitting there.
He's 83. Casey Affleck, he won an Oscar for a movie I'd never heard of.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of trouble.
47. Gone Girl and all those kind of things. Peter Krause, he was fairly well-known actor on one of the sports.
Rich Man, Poor Man.
Rich Man.
Was he?
No, it was a different. That was a different one.
Okay.
This is Peter Krause, who was on, I think, Sports Night and 6 Feet Under and a couple of those things. Jennifer Warren, Up Where We Belong, 81 today.
She also did the theme to Ragtime, the movie. One of the most beautiful songs.
Yeah.
One More Night. One of the most beautiful songs ever.
Pete
should have won the Oscar, and they gave it to that bitch Streisand for Evergreen.
Oh, I know, God.
What's the name? Who is the name?
Jennifer Warren.
Warren, and it's spelled differently too. Warne, I think, something weird.
I'm not sure.
It's spelled weird.
Pete Sampras is 51 today, famous tennis star. In music history today, Pete Best auditioned to be the drummer for the Silver Beatles. They told him to meet the band in Germany for their next set of dates. Before leaving for Hamburg, they dropped the silver and became the Beatles on this day, 1960. And same day, 4 years later, 64, same day, the Beatles' first film, A Hard Day's Night, opened in 500 theaters to rave reviews, and it was also a critical success. The Time magazine rated the movie A Hard Day's Night one of the list of top 100 movie greats of all time.
It's black and white, and it's so 60s. The great thing about it, you go back and listen to watch it. It is such a microcosm of the 60s, right before the hippie thing hit.
I was when I read this to myself, Time magazine calls it one of the best 100 great movies of all time, and I thought to myself, I don't think I've seen it since then. And I really should try to look it up.
It'll bring you memories back.
I bet it will. In 1968, Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, John Paul Jones, and John Bonham played together for the first time in 68 during rehearsals at a London studio. The first song they ever played together, The Train Kept a-Rollin', and then Dazed and Confused. Their first dates, they were called the Yardbirds and later changed to Led Zeppelin because that's how it's going to go over.
The new Yardbirds.
The new Yardbirds, yeah. It was in 68. 1972, Alice Cooper had his only #1 hit in Britain, School's Out. Alice Cooper was inspired to write the song when somebody asked him, what's the greatest 3 minutes of your life? Think about that question.
Oh, when the bell rang?
What were the greatest 3 minutes of your life? I can think of a couple of them. Anyway, he said 2 times during the year, greatest 3 minutes of my life. Christmas morning, and the second time is the last 3 minutes of the last day of school.
Remember, the bell would ring, and you'd hear the entire school screaming, and you'd run down the halls, and people were throwing papers up, and you were literally running down the hallways and running out.
Watching the
free
clock.
for 3 months.
Counting down.
Free.
Yeah. Again, we went back to school on Labor Day. After Labor Day was when we went to first day of school.
We got out about June 4th and didn't come back to Labor Day.
Yeah, our first day of class was usually the day after Labor Day. Yeah. The Wednesday or Tuesday after Labor Day, either one. 1985. Flounder, if you would play a song for me that I had requested for you earlier, if you get that if you're at your convenience. La-da-da. Here we are. Here we go.
And take 2.
Take 2. In 1985, this was the first time a Japanese artist hit #1 on the American music charts with this song, Sukiyaki, by Kiyu Sakamoto. It was many, many years ago, but on this day in 1985, again, the first time a Japanese artist hit #1 on the American music charts. Kiyu Sakamoto. And it was on this day in 1985 when Kiyu Sakamoto boarded JAL Flight 123, which then crashed into a mountain near Tokyo, killing him and 519 other people.
What year was that?
1985.
Oh, so
JAL Flight 123, 20 years after his big hit song, or a little bit less than that, he was on the plane that crashed into the mountain, killing 520
There's
people.
one mountain in Japan. It's Mount Fuji. It's really big. It's right there. You can't avoid that?
I can't avoid it.
I'm just kidding. There's lots of
4 people lived.
What?
520 died on the jumbo flight. 4 people lived, and they were all seated in the left rear of the plane.
In the back. Yeah, that's where you should sit.
That's right.
Because as the comedian says, James Gregory says, you never hear one of these things backing into a mountain.
Right. 1981, IBM releases the first PC, the 5150, which cost $1,600 in 1981, but loaded with 64 KB of RAM and a single 5.25-inch floppy drive and monitor, it cost $3,005. 1955, the U.S. minimum wage is raised from 75 cents to $1 an hour. The first one I got when I went to work my first radio station in the mid-'60s was $1.15 an hour. A 40-hour work week would make $2,000 a year. 1851, Isaac Singer got the patent for his double-headed sewing machine called the Isaac.
Double-headed what?
That'd be so. Double-headed sewing machine. Rubber novelty product.
I still have my great-grandmother's, the old one where it
the old
folds out
sure.
stuff.
Yeah, with the
I
old
still have it.
circle wheel on the side of it.
It's underneath. It's a desk.
Yeah.
And you don't see it until you pull it out.
Yeah. 1865, 15 years after that, a surgeon used disinfectant for the first time during an operation by Dr. Joseph Lister, hence the famous mouthwash Josephine, kind of a famous... Well, no, the Listerine, I'm sorry. Sorry. 1877, Thomas Edison invented and displayed a working phonograph and the first sound recording which he used to help pull the wings off flies. 1973, Jack Nicklaus won his 14th major, breaking the record that had been held for 50 years by Bobby Jones. And in
speaking of which, Jeff Hollinger put on Facebook, Bobby Jones's mansion in Buckhead, Tuxedo Road, is up for sale, and it's like $3 to $5 million.
I'll bet.
And you can drink coffee in the breakfast room where he and Cliff Roberts designed the Masters.
The Augusta National, wow.
It's been, and the city of Atlanta gave that to him, by the way. After he won the Grand Slam, the city of Atlanta gave him that.
I'll be damned. I was watching a baseball thing last night in history, and when Ted Williams, who was number 8? Carl Yastrzemski. When the Red Sox had not won the pennant in forever, that when they won the pennant, they were trailing in the game, and Yastrzemski went 4 for 4 and won the game for the Red Sox to win the pennant. And because of that, Yawkey, who owned the thing, I think was his name, said it was the greatest day of his life. He doubled Yastrzemski's salary that day because he won the game for him to win the pennant. He doubled his salary that one time. 1969 in sports, the Boston Celtics were sold for the highest price ever for an NBA franchise in 1969. Highest price ever for an NBA franchise, $6 million. What is it? $500 million today, probably, or $200 million?
It's more than that.
More than that, even
Boston,
for an NBA
Celtics?
franchise? Wow. 1964. Mickey Mantle set a major league record when in one game he hit a home run on each side of the plate. And I saw the video of the minor league home run hitter, that great big beefy guy who hit the home run cycle. In one game for his minor league team, he hit a homer with one guy on, nobody on, 2 on, and 3, and a grand slam. And one more. 1994, major leaguers go on strike. Boy, do I remember that. Lasted 232 days, wiped out the World Series for the first time in 90 years.
And probably led to the Expos leaving Montreal because they were probably the favorite to win it that year. They were leading the Braves by like 8 or 9 games.
Well, I've never believed that Montreal or Toronto should have a team anyway, but that's just
They're
me.
thinking about putting one back.
I know. Whatever. I mean, I'm happy for them, but I think it's wrong.
No, Canada doesn't deserve one right now.
I don't think they do.
Look at the trouble we're having with just Toronto getting players to go.
I wouldn't want one in Mexico. I wouldn't want one in Britain. I mean, the
CDC has finally decided, after a year of us knowing this, that, by the way, people with the shot now hold on to it longer, or more contagious longer than people who didn't take the shot. CDC finally yesterday said enough with the difference between the guidelines. How about all those people that lost their jobs?
Right. How about all the military people who got kicked out of the military or got thrown out with general discharges?
I'd sue the hell out of them.
To Fauci and everybody else who faked this whole business. Again, the President of the United States, you'd think would be the most guarded, safe, nutritionally healthy, and safely, away from germs of every kind guy in the world, has been boosted and shot with vaccines and everything else, and still got it like 3 different times. My kids and my grandkids.
Fishing boats from Caitlin.
Oh.
It's about iPhones. This girl named Caitlin talking about iPhones, and her friend Javar
I like that name.
has a smart-ass comment for her. Yes. So are you going to be Caitlin, or are you going to be Javar?
I'll let you take the punchline.
All right. You're Caitlin, so do it as Caitlin would.
iPhones are so nice without the case.
Everything feels nice without protection.
Ho, ho! Ho, hey! You mean girls can tell the difference, too? Never thought of it that way. Like I said, I never came up.
How do you make a woman achieve orgasm?
I don't know.
Who cares?
How do I know?
Just kidding.
No, I'm a giver. I'm a pleaser. I'm a giver.
I am
I'm
too.
a giver.
So I'm a good gift giver.
No, in fact, well, no, never mind. That's
please don't.
That's for some of the older boys or girls.
For the paywall.
By the way, if this again, thekimmershow.net, if you can figure out a way to send us something, we'd be very grateful. But if this doesn't work, I swear to God, we're going to do an X-rated podcast. We're going to go back to the other one for money. Yeah. No, but we're going to start charging for it and do a real one. Well, like I have chick guests and everything talking about stuff.
Like Stern?
Like, well, yeah. Absolutely.
Do you know
Get a
any
couple of
chicks?
babes in here.
Do you know any
lesbian
babes
dating
or
game.
chicks?
Absolutely.
You do?
So do you.
I did.
Get your kinky little one that
No, she
you
don't
ran
talk
off
to me
there. She
anymore.
got some friends. You get all their girlfriend. Get a couple of chicks. Yeah, absolutely. God bless America. Hey, weekend final thoughts here, boys. And again, we have a vacation schedule next week. We'll be on the air Monday.
And maybe Wednesday.
And
We haven't
probably-
decided yet.
Well,
You're
I'm getting my
your teeth
in.
Wednesday.
I don't know how. It might be kind of hard to pull
What
it
time
off.
you getting
but,
your teeth done?
It depends when they. It's going to be one of those.
Yeah, it might be
floating
hard to do a show if you don't.
Yeah,
You're
so-
in here like.
So we'll confirm on Monday.
Yeah, but again, we may just
Which means we'll be off Wednesday, Friday, and
until
Monday,
the following Wednesday.
Until the following Wednesday.
Yeah. So we'll be up for a few
We'll
shows.
see, though.
Well, again, it's time to. I've got to see my kids.
It's
I have
August.
to
We're
go.
French. We have to go on
Yeah,
vacation.
we have to go on vacation.
At least it's not a whole month like they do.
No. And again, it's not like it's free. But again, those who are paying us, we appreciate it and we
that.
thank you. But we still going to take a break. Okay, God bless America. Thank you. Aloha and to our friends all over the world. And I gotta kill me. Look out, Semper Fi, hoorah! See you on Monday.
Hang five.
Big 5. Take